Okay, we're live with session 2 of A Day with Zenler. So super excited now to get Rakesh on. Rakesh hasn't been on for a few months now, and he's going to do a really good subject. So I'm going to let Rakesh talk about that. So Rakesh is going to join us for about half an hour. He's very busy, and he's going to teach you what he wants to teach you about today. What's it going to be about today, Rakesh?
Cool. Let me just share my screen. 1 second. Cool. We are live, right?
We're live.
Cool. Excellent. Do you see my screen at all?
Yep. Perfect.
Cool. 1 second. Just set it up.
Okay, so it's the latest trends and shifts for creators. So I'm going to hand over to Rakesh. And if you want me to pop up, just shout my name, Rakesh, and I'll be there.
Cool. Thanks, David. Hey, everyone. Thank you for hopping on here. Now we had some amazing sessions this morning from Liz on planning your first course, and then Kevin on social media marketing, and Manmeet on how to say no. Very interesting topics. As always, David does brilliant job running the David Zenler. Running David Zenler is not really an easy task, as it's almost like a marathon mini summits every month, and it needs a lot of planning too. I want to talk a bit about online courses and the huge shift we are seeing. We are seeing a lot of trends. We see all the data that we have, and we're analyzing it, and we can see all the patterns that we're seeing. There are many course platforms out there, and most of it focus on just video-based courses. Most of the platforms out there, they work mostly around video-only courses. And if you see carefully, you can see that not much of innovation has gone in around video-based courses since video-based courses became popular. And now everyone from books like Udemy to course platforms, they all still focus on video-only courses, and that's about it. That's what they focus on. I would like to start with a question. Have you looked at your course completion rates? Have you really checked how many students complete your course? Have you been tracking it? Let me know in chat below what sort of completion rates do you see. Let me see whether I can see the chat. David, do you want to monitor the chat?
I will monitor the chat, Rakesh.
Cool, excellent. Yeah, I'll come back to the chat a bit later. So 1 second. Cool. Yeah, so Zenler now powers more than 35,000 sites. And now we have access.
We can't see the, can you make the browser full screen for the slide?
Oh, okay. Let me share the stop shares.
It's showing all the browsers at the moment.
Oh. How about now?
Perfect. That's good.
Cool. Yeah, so Zenler now powers more than 35,000 sites. And so we have access to a lot of data, and we can analyze to see all the trends that is happening and what is working, what is not working. From crunching all the data that we have access to, we can see all the patterns, we can see all the bottlenecks. Now we see that on an average, only 10% of students complete a course. That's pretty insane, right? So on an average, we see that only 10% of students go through, advance through the entire course and complete it, especially with courses that are only based on videos. And With video-only courses, video-only course delivery format, what we also see is instructors do not get much engagement, and basically it ends up with lesser accountability from your students. Students who do not complete your course are kind of unlikely to buy you from more from you in the future when you do upsells and so on. And even worse, they are more likely to request a refund from you or even submit a poor review. And you really want to minimize that. And what does your students do when they're stuck? How can they get help? How do they ask you a question when they're stuck? Where do they ask a question to you? How do they communicate with you? Those sort of things come into play. Now, from analyzing all the latest and greatest data that we are lucky to have access to across the platform, we see that instructors who use live sessions as the core, as an integral part of their offering, combined with strong community, see a much greater engagement and much greater completion rates of even 70% and more. That's what we are seeing. And the big shift we see is from online video-only courses that are only based on videos, to interactive courses. Now, what really is an interactive course? Interactive course is where there is a live interaction between the instructor and the student using live sessions like live classes, live Q&A, and so on. Basically, on these live sessions, your students can directly interact with you as an instructor, or if there's a community attached to the course, they can interact with you there, where students network with the peers and learn together. The interactive courses are more about active learning instead of just passive learning. Now, that is a huge shift. Let me know in chat how many of you have been using live classes or live sessions as a key or integral part of your courses. If not, if you're not using live sessions, live lessons, let me know what is stopping you from doing that. I'm not seeing the chat. David, let me know if there's any questions. Yeah. Cool. So why you should really consider adding live interactive sessions, live sessions to your offering? As I mentioned, what is driving engagement is interactive teaching, where live sessions are an integral part of the offering. Instructors who use live sessions as an integral part of the offering, along with a community attached to the course, see a far greater engagement and completion rates of 70% or more. Live sessions foster live interaction between the instructor and the student, and it can be live sessions or live office hours, live lessons, and they can greatly help the students to engage with you as an instructor, and they can ask you questions when they're stuck, and they can also get help from the community, from the student network, and they can help each other and advance to the course together. Cool. Now, interactive teaching can be anything from having live lessons as part of the course, live group coaching, can be running regular live Q&A or office hours to connect with the students, answer any of your questions, and really make them accountable as you're kind of checking their progress regularly. So really, studio students do not have any excuse not to progress through the course, because you're kind of checking in on their progress on a regular basis. Now, live coaching for groups or cohorts-based coaching or cohorts-based courses, cohorts with live sessions for the group, where group of students grow through the entire course journey together, with other students, lead to much greater, much better course completion rates. Live group coaching is so powerful, as students are attending the session live with you, and it can be quite very interactive and community driven, as a cohort of students are advanced through the entire course together. They all work together. Now, as live group coaching is focused on active learning than passive learning, course completion rates are much, much higher as students are really, really super engaged. The thing is, if you are a new instructor and if you haven't really started creating a course, you don't have any content ready for your courses, what we see is most of the instructors, they keep procrastinating and they keep delaying the launch. Now, what is often easier to get started is to help students with live sessions directly in the group, or it can be one-to-one and so on. If you're a newbie creator, live group coaching is a great place to start, and later you can convert these video lessons, these into video lessons and slowly build your content that way. Now, I pulled this up this morning. So this is Lily asking on the group. She says, I don't have a course yet, and she really wants to explore live sessions. Basically, you don't need, that's brilliant. You don't need to create a course to get started. If you are a new instructor and you are just starting to work on course creation, you don't always have the content ready for your courses. So we see a lot of instructors delaying the launch. Often what is easier to get started is to help students with group coaching live. Now, if you are a newbie creator, live coaching is really, really a great place to start. Yeah, so start with live sessions. If you don't have any content ready, you can always start with live sessions. You can do the live sessions, run the live sessions on whatever topic you want, and then slowly you can convert that into courses. Now, we see a lot of instructors also leveraging live webinars and live streams to Facebook or YouTube to really build and engage with your prospective audience. Now, Zenler as a platform ourselves, we use live webinars and live streams to run regular live streams to the community. You've probably seen that already. We heavily use live webinars and live streams. All of it is run via Zenler Live. We run via Zenler Live and Zenler Zoom. We do not use any other third-party tools. Now, more and more instructors also sell live classes on its own, rather than including it as a part of the course. So earlier, people were just adding it as part of the course. Now they are selling more and more live classes on the platform. What we see is more and more instructors are selling live classes on its own. So they put a price on the live class and they sell the live class directly. And this way, they are able to run cohort-based classes. So they can run the classes live. They can set a price, or if it's a free, they can offer it for free, and they can sell the live class. If it's a paid course, paid live class, they can sell it, and they can easily run cohort-based classes. Now, we have really, really worked hard to build all the tools for this, from live classes, live lessons. You can also run like live Q&A, office hours without needing your own Zoom. Zenler comes with its own Zoom, so it's not just a plain vanilla integration. Still surprises me to see some new users still think that they need to bring their own Zoom. Absolutely not. We handle all of that for you. We want to remove all the friction when running interactive courses or live sessions. So you will be running all the live sessions using Zenler Zoom. So basically, yes, you really do not need to bring in your own Zoom. Quite a lot of instructors also have been able to cancel their paid Zoom subscriptions with live classes and webinars. And also you are able to give your students a much more seamless experience as you're now able to offer the courses and live sessions, all of it from right within your site, right from within the platform. You don't need to stitch together different platforms and so on. Everything happens from your site. Zenler is the only all-in-one platform that is also a full-fledged live session management system. So it lets you do anything from live session, live lessons, live classes, live group coaching with live classes to interactive webinars, and live streams. We really doubled down on the live aspect. We got all of the live aspects covered, and more is coming. All of this runs via Zenler Zoom without needing to pay for an additional Zoom subscription. So if anyone is new to the platform and they think that they need a Zoom subscription, no, we don't need that because we have got it covered. If instructors, if you want to publish your live event schedule onto the calendar, you can also do that with the Zenler calendar feature. We actually recently shipped this. There's a huge demand for it, so we worked on it and we shipped it recently. And it has helped greatly reduce the dependency for you guys on tools like Calendly. With all these tools at your disposal, we see more and more instructors really leveraging live sessions to drive engagement and build the audience. Going live is easy, as all of it is from within the platform without needing to stitch and glue and duct tape different platforms. You can publish a schedule on live sessions on the public page, or you can publish the live sessions schedule on the private page. You can put it on as a public calendar, or you can make it as a private calendar. And your students can pay, or they can book, or they can just RSVP or attend the session if it's a live session. With multiple schedules, you can also run the exact same webinar. So if you're running an exact same webinar or an exact same live session at different timings, you can do that with multiple schedules. Your students can attend. You can pick the date and time from the multiple schedules that you publish. Let's say I'm doing a live session at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. My students can book any of one of them, and they can attend whatever is convenient for them. Now, if you take an example of we ourselves, how Zenler as a platform leverage live sessions so heavily with our instructor base, we actually use our own tools. We ourselves are users of the tools that we create. So we know exactly the pain, and we understand what needs changing, what needs refining, because we try and use as much of tools that we create ourselves as we want to go through the pains ourselves to understand, to get the pulse of what you want. We use Zenler live classes to successfully run various boot camps and challenges. We run monthly Zen chat networking sessions. We run Zen Zone co-working sessions multiple times a week. We run live streams regularly to the community where we answer any questions that you have. Actually, we have been doing office hours consistently almost every single week. I don't think we've missed many. We've been doing it consistently since we kicked off office hours. We also run Zen pop-ups where we offer various tips. We also run the David Zenler that you are on right now. We run live webinars for onboarding and demo. Everything, all of this we run with live classes, live streams, and live webinars. The exact feature set that you have access to, we use it ourselves to run the platform, to educate our users, and so on. Exactly. So if even the David Zenler that you are on, we use the Zenler Live tools. We're using Zenler Live Stream to publish the stream live into the community. To build a super engaged community, whether it's for the platform or whether it's for the courses or whether it's for coaching or for any audience for that matter, it's important to have live lessons as an inevitable, as a key part of the offering. It really fosters immersive learning. Cool. In addition to live lessons, by creating and attaching a community to your offering, to your course, if you add a community to your course, you are also able to build much more engagement in students, as you're providing your students with a dedicated network of like-minded peers, and also they have access to exclusive content that your members only have access to. Yeah, so with an already engaged student community that really trusts you, you're really in a better position to promote and upsell other courses in the future too. Now let's take an example of again how Zenler leverages the community aspect. We have worked super hard to build a super engaged community, and you can see that we go out of the way to always listen to all the posts, all the comments. We understand your pains. We take all the feedback that we get from the community. We always engage with the community, whether it is any member of the team, whether it is any member of the education team for support. Though the Facebook group is not the first port of call for support, we still try and step in and try to help you as much as we can. Of course, we have an amazing community who steps in whenever is needed. And that also greatly helps. Yeah, so we continuously strive to improve the platform by getting the pulse of the community and addressing every single point of use. But like the exact same thing applies to you as a business or to your courses. With a strong community attached to your site or a course, you are really in a better position to listen to your students, and you can continuously refine your future course offerings, and then you can create courses around what your students needs. So we as a platform, we add features based on what the community needs. We don't really make up any features. So exactly same thing applies to courses. So we can create courses around what your students need, not based on what you think they need. Your students will stick around with discussions in the community, questions and feedback. And you really can create true fans who really root for your success. And the students can learn so much from the community, in addition to learning from you, because they are all working and advancing through the course together. And they get so much value from the course if there is a community attached to the site of the course. Cool. Also, we see a lot of instructors. You see the chat, cool. We see a lot of instructors, they are able to drive further engagement by adding assignments to the course. Now, assignments are a great way of adding any type of homework that you would like your students to submit for your approval. And then you can provide feedback to your students privately. And with assignments lesson, you can set homework for your students at key stages of your course. You can ask them, hey, submit this assignment, and then only you can proceed to the next lesson. Your students can submit your homework. Then you need to approve before they can successfully advance to the course or complete the course. Now, this works really well if you have certain things that you would like your students to really demonstrate you, that you want them to show you that they can do. You want, or if you want to assess the assignments and provide students with direct feedback and get your students more engaged. And what's the best part about it? It works great from accountability perspective. It really helps them progress to the course as they're getting constant feedback via assignments. Now with Zenler, we have gone extra lengths to build an enterprise level assignments, feature for assignments. New Zenler assignments is one of the most featured, best in class feature around assignments across the course platform space. You can always go back to your students if you're not happy with a particular assignment they have submitted, and you can ask them to resubmit assignments. if you're not happy with it. Basically because we have built versioning in. So we have different versions. They upload a version 1. If you're not happy with it, you can ask them to submit another one. You see version 2, and you can continue the private conversation with the student when they're submitting the assignment. So there is an area where you can submit, you can actually have a conversation with the student, and you guide them through the assignments as they progress. Now, let me know in chat how many of you are really leveraging an assignment lesson. How many of you are using assignment lessons as a part of your core part of your course? And now for the Zenler challenges that we run, most of the boot camps and whatever we run, we really leverage assignments. We add assignments as an integral part of all our challenges and boot camps, and it has really worked. It has worked brilliantly, helping students on it to get to the outcome that we set out for them. And if you're not using assignments as a key part of the courses, just like live elements and community, we think you should really consider adding assignments as a key part of your curriculum. Now, you can already do live group coaching or cohort-based classes with live classes. You can set the number of students that can attend, and you can sell the live group coaching or live class. You can do live group coaching or cohort-based coaching that way with the live classes feature. But what about one-to-one feature? And this has been coming up quite a lot. Now, this is something we have been working on. I think you can see here, Judy, she's asking if I want to just use Zoom on Zenler to have a conversation with someone. How do I do that? How do I do a one-to-one? So yes, I thought I didn't need my upgraded Zoom account anymore and cancel it, but my VA says I can't do one-to-one anymore. Actually, you can still do one-to-one because you can set a live class with an attendee as one, but that's a bit tricky workaround. Now, most of the platforms out there, they're all great at what they do, but what we see is they don't really focus on you as a coach. There is not much focus on one-to-one coaching tools. We as a platform see requests almost every single day since we launched Zenler Live, and we really want to be industry leaders around best in class around live features. So we see these kind of requests every day around how to run one-to-one coaching, how do I run one-to-one bookings with Zenler, and we really want to help you build and manage. If you're doing coaching, we want to help you build and manage your entire coaching business. We don't want you to duct tape Calendly and other platforms, so on. We want to help you to be able to do live one-to-one coaching and help students achieve the outcome that you want. And so we've been really working hard on adding one-to-one to the platform. We really want Zenler to lead the way and make it super easy for anyone to build an entire coaching business, right? Whether you are a newbie or a top-selling coach, we want you to empower you to do that. Just one click, we want you to be able to go live to with someone one-to-one. Yeah, that's coming up next. I'm super excited about this. We have been working on the one-to-one bookings feature. This is coming up soon. Once we launch this, you will be able to create free or you'll be able to create paid bookable one-to-one sessions. With one-to-one bookings, you will be able to create and publish your entire live session schedule on the calendar. It can be public calendar or it can be a private calendar, and your students can book your time. If you're a yoga instructor, if you want to do one-to-one schedules like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then in the afternoon and so on, you'll be able to do that. You'll be able to do one-to-one coaching, and then you'll be able to take payments. Just like courses, it's a paid session. They can pay you because we have Stripe, PayPal, and Razorpay integrated, just like courses. You'll be able to take payments if it's a paid one-to-one session or one-to-one booking, one-to-one coaching. You'll be able to set a price, and then they'll be able to purchase. And from the calendar, they can click and they can purchase it. And that's I think that's pretty awesome. And you will be able to cancel booking tools like Calendly and schedule ones. Yeah, let me know in chat who's excited about one-to-ones. I think this is something that has been asked almost daily on the group. Even if you are just starting on the course creation, have no courses created yet, one-to-ones are a great way to get started. So that's something that we are working on next. One-to-ones is coming up. You'll be able to create one-to-one bookings or one-to-one coaching sessions. And also we are adding functionality where when you create a one-to-one, just like in Zoom, I know a lot of people have been asking, can we get a direct link to the room? We're going to add a way you can get a direct link to the room, so that if you created a one-to-one session, and if you want to send a particular link to the room, a direct link to the room to someone that you're coaching, you can do that. So that's something that we have been working on. It's coming up pretty soon. I think that's pretty much it from my side. Any questions, let me know in chat. I'm just going to stop my screen chat.
That's brilliant, Rakesh. There's quite a few questions coming in. I'm sure there's going to be more. So you actually mentioning about the one-to-ones coming in there, and also those kind of magic links that are going to go in at some point. They are two really big ones. But I want to just refer back to Judy Raffert, where she did a post on the Facebook group about not being, can we do one-to-one lives? We can actually do it now. You can set an interactive webinar, you can set a webinar up, and you can just have an enrollment limit of 1. You can then send it to that person, just enroll them in and just do it that way. You could even do it with a live stream as well. So you could live stream, start the live stream, and then personally send them the link to come and join you, exactly like we do today. I sent a link to Rakesh, he jumped in, joined me, and that's what happens. Yeah. So you can do this anyway. So your VA turning around to you and saying, no, it cannot be done is like just rubbish. You can do it.
You can do it. It's a bit of workaround, but you can do it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy if you just got it in an enrollment limit and you just send it, someone books and just go straight through it. It's very easy to do. And that's the thing, ask the question on the group. Even if your VA says, oh, no, you can't do that, make sure you ask it on the group, because there'll always be ways to do this stuff. Of course, Zenler are going to make it even easier by adding this one-to-one booking system, because we know we want to make it going through cleanly. And that brings us on to the calendar as well, Rakesh. You remember, this is only the first iteration. This was asked by you, and the team did an amazing job of bringing that in relatively quickly. But it is the first iteration, so it will change. But it does now mean that you have this calendar system that shows all of your live streams, your interactive webinars, live classes.
Everything, all of
it. If you don't want it to show in the calendar, you can just make it secret.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
So it's a really great way. You can click in the calendar to get there. Also, please note that calendar system shows the time in other people's time zone. That's probably something you don't see, but that's what happens. So it shows in other time zones as well. So that's another thing that we just add on that we don't even tell you about. We just
exactly. I mean, we've been seeing a lot of people having issues with time zones, so we wanted to address that. So right out of the box, when you schedule a calendar, so it automatically converts to a student's time zones. Whether a student is in the US or the UK or Europe, it's going to exactly show in the time that they are time zone that they are on. So there's no confusion. There's no going back and forth.
Yeah, this is magic. Also, I want to point out something as well. We get a lot of questions. Rakesh mentioned it earlier about do I need a Zoom account? Do I need a Zoom account to do this? Like Rakesh mentioned, no. I mean, see exactly what our Zoom does, and if you need that on your own pro account, then fair enough. But most people, including me that had a pro Zoom account, do not use it now. And I'm pretty sure that Kevin's in here as well. Kevin doesn't, he uses our Zoom as well because he knows. So you don't need that. You can go all through Zenler. And that's where the confusion lies, right? Because all the other platforms you guys have probably been on, you've always needed that to integrate it into your system. So you come in here and think, oh, I can just use Zoom, so I integrate. But you don't realize that it's actually in our system. And that's the difference. And I think that's where the confusion lies, Rakesh, because
Yeah, exactly.
people.
So basically, we are paying for your Zoom as well. So we are doing it, we are handling the Zoom for you.
Yeah, and it's enterprise level. So, it's not your pro level, it's enterprise level. So you're actually getting much better, like 4-hour extended lives and all these things. So that it's huge. And of course, we've now added cloud recording as
I
well.
think
So
that, yeah, cloud recording is brilliant, I think, because a lot of people have been, having issues, recording it on the machine and everything on the device and so on. So now you can record it, you can share it with anyone. It's brilliant. I think we have we started using cloud recording more for our sessions, David?
well, I'll be honest with you, right? I was talking to Kevin about this earlier. We're actually like locally recording.
Yeah,
That's just what we like to do. But we have done some sessions, test sessions on the
yeah,
clouds and done it on the cloud and recorded it. It's quite good for some things. If I was doing a recording from a tablet or something and I hadn't had storage on that device, then putting it on the cloud is going to be perfect because I can get back to my desktop, download everything and edit it and put it up. And then it makes perfect sense for me. So it's, I suppose, using these tools when you need them. If you've got a big workstation and a fast internet speed, I would just personally just do it locally, but you have the choice now. And that was such a big request, wasn't it, Rakesh? We expected people to go crazy over that when we announced it, and there was like nobody was saying anything. It was like, why?
exactly. And I think we are also going to make one more tiny refinement to it. So currently, when you need to remember to click on cloud recording to record it, so we're going to add a flag so where you can say, hey, this live session is going to automatically record. So that's going to make your life so much easier.
Yeah, I will not be using that feature. I'll tell you why, Rakesh, because like I'm planning things, so I don't want people to see me in confusion before I start. I don't want it to be automatic for me.
But I think there is a way that you can start and you can pause and then you start again. So I
Yeah,
think
that's the other thing as well. You can stop, you can stop it and split it into multiple files, which someone was asking, can you do? Yes, you can. But the other thing you can do is you can pause the recording. So then you can start the recording and it will be one file. So there's multiple ways of doing this. We realize that we need to do maybe a bit more educational training and all of these things because there's lots of subtleties that you can use depending on how you want to use it. And that's gonna happen. We're going to start producing more of those so you actually understand exactly how it works inside of the Zoom window and working with Zenler as well. So
yeah.
that's brilliant. The other thing is that was asked a question. We've had a few coming, like how can students be helped to complete courses or motivational to do it? So actually to carry on for the course, I think you already answered this, Rakesh, with all the other bits that you were talking about, like assignments, etc.
Yeah, so you can use assignments as part of your course. You can use community. Yes, basically you can use live sessions. And when we add one-to-one, you can do one-to-one bookings with the student to catch up on the progress and check in on the progress, basically, and guide them. So yeah, you got all the tools now. There's no excuse. You have to use all the tools to get it working.
Yeah, no excuse. So Gida's put on here, I'm super excited about one-to-one bookings on Zoom. So she's super excited. Kevin's got to say, Kevin said you have to think outside of the limitations of the system, labels something as. So you have to sometimes do these workarounds to make things work. And that goes with any system that you're using. We always come up with new ideas. You guys come up with new ideas, and then we do a training course on it or something to show you. So that's good. So Gita said, I also motivate my students, by sending them emails. So the email side of things as well, people are using to motivate people. Automation. So you don't necessarily have to send out an email broadcast. You could automate it. So if you want to keep people interested and you've got a program that's a 3-week program, just keep sending an email out like every 3 days after a challenge has been set. and just to motivate those people. Look, have you done this bit? Have you submitted it as an assignment? And then you'll get that engagement. I think getting people to finish courses is just about staying in touch with those people, if it's cost effective to you, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions on the chat? Let me see.
Hannah Lee said, thanks, Rakesh. I think there's a lot of love for the one-to-one bookings. So that's going to be another big one that comes out. So yeah, it's good.
Hannah is asking, I don't know whether I'm pronouncing it rightly, slides with talking head maybe, or just with video. I'm not sure what she's referring to. Slides with talking head maybe, or just with audio. Is it maybe she's talking about motivation? I don't quite follow that.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, generally I mean, it does change, but generally in practice, like if you're in the video, this is where people get a little bit scared because they don't like being in their videos. So I didn't for ages. It wasn't because I didn't want to be on video. It's just because I found it easier that if I wasn't in the video, people could see the screen share. Otherwise, I get in the way of like a one of the tools that you're pressing. It's like people can't see it, so I would stay out of the video. But generally, like you should have your head in the video, at least in the promotional part of the video or the beginning of the video, and then you can remove yourself. So it's a good way to, if you're on screen, people feel that they know you. I'm sure like lots of you users feel like you know all of the team members, all of us, Rakesh, Liz, Mami, Kevin, Alice, me, and you think you personally know us because we're in your face all the time talking to you, and we've never met you, but that's the power of being on videos. So it's a good one. It's a very good question. But that was fantastic, Rakesh. Amazing. Have you got any other surprise announcements you want to make? Tell us about.
I think I'll wait for a couple of days, a few days for that.
I tried, guys. I tried.
Can't really more now, but yeah. Cool. Sure. Thanks, everyone, and talk to you soon.
Thank you. Cheers, Rakesh.
Yeah.
Lovely. So that was Rakesh there. So that is super exciting to know that we've got one-to-one coaching sessions come out. I know that a lot of you will be like, wow, this is going to be great. And remember also having those magic links. Now, that was asked in here. Someone was asking about links being sent out, and Judy asked in her post. So that's going to be something that's coming in as well. Now, we're bringing these things in, but we've already said to you that we're holding off on features because we're working on two major elements of Zenler. And one of that is the page builder, this brand new page builder template system that's going to go in, that's basically been built from the ground up. And a lot of work has gone into that. With that, we want to bring that major feature out. There's still working on bits of it with, of course, the other big one, which was the communities as well. And we said to you guys that we're not going to bring out any more features until we have those things ready. The reason being is that foundation needs to be set before we can build on top of it. So that being said, Rakesh has just mentioned that one-to-one's coming out on the coaching session. So it's great because the live is kind of its own aspect. So we can add those things in there. But the page builder is a much, much bigger thing. And it's going to be amazing. So yeah, some nice stuff going there. Thanks, Kevin, for adding and helping out in there. It's really great of you. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to run the educational slot now. So we have an educational slot. It's going to run for about 30 minutes. It's fairly detailed, but should show you a lot of information. At the same time, I'm also going to upload, or I'm going to put a link on there to a PDF where you can grab these handy guides. And I run this the other day. So I've got a PDF that you guys can download. So if you need to go to support or to our YouTube channel, all the links are in the little document that I'm going to post into the chat once this starts. Now, after this finishes, you're going to jump back to me, and then I'm going to run a summit slot. So you're going to see some of the speakers, not all of them, just a few of them from our live impact summit that Alice is running, that we're running on the 11th of October. So I'm going to start with the education. Just grab the PDF that's in there. You can grab that. It's absolutely free. And then you've got a little document of where you can go to get the help, like the Facebook group, YouTube channel, our support docs area, those sort of things. So it's all in there for you. So I'm going to play this recording now, and I'll see you in about half an hour when it finishes. Welcome to the educational slot on A Day with Zenler. So I'm going to walk you through some of the educational resources that we have here at Zenler for you to use. Now, a lot of you that have been using the platform for a long time will know all of these things already. So you might want to pause for a kind of hour and then come back for the next session. So guys, if you're new to Zenler, we have lots of training resources for you and we're always getting better all the time. So I want to first of all take you to one of our main sites where all of our training are and all of our challenges, boot camps, these kind of things. So you can really get involved in the training itself. Now, you're obviously already watching this on Facebook, so you're part of our amazing community of helpers. So I'm going to jump into the first place that you need to go, and that is to our tutorial site. So tutorials.newzenler.com. Okay. So I'll put that in the chat. And you can go to this site and you can have a quick look around. So you can find out what the tutorial site's all about by just clicking here. It's going to open a little video that you can watch, quick video to watch. And then if you're brand new to Zenler, you can book a session to have a free tour of Zenler. So this is really good. If you're brand new to the platform or you didn't know about this and you've been with us for a little bit of time, but still don't know your way around, then it's definitely worth jumping in to book a free tour of the platform where you can also ask questions. So you get all access to this completely free of charge. So if you actually join up, you can view our on-demand lessons. I'm about to show you that in a second. And also our live challenges, our latest features, live events, and plus a lot more. So the tutorials.newzenler.com site is a great place for you to just look around and learn about things. And some of it is even off platform. So we teach you things like marketing and these sort of things. So it's a really good place to go and improve your education. Of course, it's all free. So to join, all you need to do is put your name in there, email address, set a password, and you'll be using that email address and that password to log into tutorials.newzenler site whenever you come in there if you log out. So once you're actually logged in, you'll then jump straight into the platform itself. And I'm going to show you that in just 2 seconds. So once you're actually logged in, you'll see this screen come up. So you can search the Zenler training in here. You can go to any communities if you're part of them, and you'll also be logged in as well. So if you're logged out, you'll just have to log in and you can get to those settings up there. You can also see any bell notifications. If you are a member of any of the courses that have got communities tied to them, then if you post a message in there and you get a reply or someone posts a message, you'll get a little bell notification at the top. You just click that and you go straight into those communities and find out what's going on. So you're constantly staying in contact with other Zenler users, which is a great thing. So let's go down to our training hub now and let's see what's available for you to look at. So we're going to go to on demand first of all. These are our on demand training courses. And we're going to just jump in there and I'm just going to tell you the place you need to go to start off with. The first place you need to go is the quick start guide. So you need to jump in there and you can then take that foundation course. It's really quick to do, 2 to 4 hours, and then you'll be grounded or have a solid foundation to move on with your Zenler experience. So after that point, you're probably asking specific questions due to your building the site or your particular needs, in which case you want to jump into the complete guide to Zenler. This is an encyclopedia of Zenler and it's searchable in there as well. So you can search for all your topics. We'll look at this in a second. Just before I do that, I'm going to just drop down to some of the other courses that we have available to you. So under here, we also have branding and design. So if you're new to branding and design, that's making your website look pretty and actually having a solid brand for your company, for your business, online business, then this is a really good one to watch. It tells you lots of really good tips in there. Next, we have ethically copy a site course layout style, in which case what we do is we look at something like a WordPress site or even a Netflix site, and we actually convert it into a WordPress site, into a Zenler site. So this is a really good thing for you to see that you can actually be really versatile with the Zenler platform and basically create whatever you can think of. So I always say to people, if they're designing a site, just have a look at other people's site, see what inspires you, see what you like about other sites you're looking at, and then you can build that inside Zenler and just tweak it to make it your own. And that's a good way to start if you've got no design experience. So next we have hardware and software setup. Now this is just showing the setup that we use here at Zenler, and you can have a look at that. I'm going to really update this course at some point, and I might even run a challenge or a workshop on it because there's a lot more that you need to know. So this is the basic setups on hardware and software. Inside this first category, we also have all of the courses. So you're going to see up here that we can actually go and you can actually just go and switch to the ones that you want. So if I go to sector Zenler Learn, this is all basically to do with Zenler. If I want to know about marketing, I can go into here and learn about marketing, any Zenler extras like inside here. So Sunday workshops, you've got lots of things in here to just have a look at and play around with. So let's say that you're going to go into one of these. I'm going to go now to the complete guide to Zenler because this is one that you're probably going to use quite a lot. So after you've done the quick start guide, if we go into this, you're going to see that you can enroll in this course here. And once you're enrolled in there, you're going to have access to a lot of content. So once you're in this course, you're going to see a video search up here where you can search for certain things like, let's say, GoDaddy domain, and hit enter. And you're going to get all the search results come up in here for you to look through. This is powered here by Searchy. What I would say about the search function is the bad thing about it is it's not in series. So if there's a series of lessons, you're not going to see all the videos. You're just going to see one of them. But it can be really handy if you're already a kind of intermediate user in Zenler or advanced. So we'll go down to the course content itself. First, we've got an introduction to the course, how to use this course efficiently. And then we have the actual course itself. And you're going to see that it's all split into areas like Zenler Basics, pathways for your online course, like roadmaps, site setup, page builder. It tells you about all these things going through. But you can also do a quick search here. So if you want to do a quick find highlighter, you can come in here and type the word something like funnels, and then you can just hit OK. Now, it's not going to look like anything's happened, but if I scroll down through here, you're going to see that anything that says funnels in it will be marked in red there, meaning that you can find it really quickly. So you can find reports on funnels there. And if you go down further, you'll see there's a whole section on funnels. So this highlighter can be a really good way for you to find information quickly inside of the complete guide to Zenler. To clear those results and reset, you just press clear results. Okay. So if we scroll down to the bottom of this course now, you're also going to find that you have the same thing here, but it's expandable. So we've got the quick find highlighter. It just means that there's more information to highlight. So again, you can refine your search if you need to using the advanced users search inside there. This is just an FAQ block that closes up and down. So you can see in here that we have quite a lot of reviews in here, and people love this course. So it's huge. It is an encyclopedia rather than a course. You can see how many lessons we've got in there, but this is definitely the place that you're going to want to go to. Now, off the back of that, I'm going to introduce you now to our YouTube channel because it is an essential place for you to go. Of course, you are on the Facebook group, so you're already there. But if you sign up for our YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/c/Zenler, you're going to find, hit the subscribe and bell icon, that any new releases that we bring out, they appear here first. Okay. So this is the place where you can look at past features that we've added to the platform. So it's definitely worth spending 5-10 minutes going through these, seeing if you haven't missed any, because although we do announce it in the Facebook group, it's easy to miss. So if you're part of this channel and a new video, a new feature is put up, straight away you can see it in here. So you can see just recently, in fact, last week, we actually did a year with Zenler in 2022. And this is new features and stats for the year. So this tells you about what we've achieved as Zenler over the last 12 months. And I think you'll be shocked. I mean, if you look at last year's year with Zenler, it was big, but this one goes even further. We have doubled up or more than doubled up on all of the challenges and boot camps that we run, and we have more going on. There's more help in the YouTube channel. There's more streams into the Facebook group. We are getting personal with you guys. We're actually there with you. You know, we're inviting you onto things. We're finding out from you what you need, because we're at that stage now where we've done a ton of videos. We've backed everything up, all the situations, all the scenarios that you have asked for, we have created videos for. And now we're running into phase 2. So that was our goal for phase 1, was to basically cover everything and wipe out most of the questions to support, except technical questions. And that was our goal, and that's what we've achieved. So because we've achieved that, we're now looking at our association with the tech side as well. So with technical support. You don't come to us for technical support. You still send them out to support@zenler.com. But what can we do to help technical support get you answers quicker? So our number one goal asked for by you was to create articles, to create article-based documents that are quick to the point with a video to back it up. So you're getting the best of both worlds. If you think about it, an article with a video in it. So like a vlog, but it's an article with the video inside it. So we are now, instead of creating these long workshops where we cover everything in sort of 2 hours, we're now breaking everything down into minute bits of detail. So we might just cover what a drip is inside a course, and that'll be a 3-minute video backed up by an article or support document that you can get to really quickly. So the main aim with this is to get this and run this into your admin dashboard. So you'll have a little question mark you can click, or a little eye icon you can click, and go straight through to the video to watch if you want to. And if you want to read an article, you can just go straight into that support doc article. So this for us will be a game changer, and it really pushes on us up on a level unsurpassed by the other platforms. So we want to get to that level where we are above everyone else. No one's crazy enough to do this stuff because it's a lot of work. So that is our goal, to really push these things. We've got ideas about bots and things like that, and lots of things coming up that we're going to talk about and tell you about as we're going. Now, remember, Zenler is a platform that's built by you. You've told us what you want, and we've put it in there, and we're getting more active with you, adding features. Now, there are a few massive features that we are putting in. They're actually infrastructure upgrades that are going to be absolutely crucial for the full development of the platform. And we've talked about those for a while, one being the new page builder, which is more like it's just not just a page builder. There's so much more behind it. And it's a ground level build up from that. And until we get that in place, we can't put anything on top. So we're holding off on the new features for a while until these massive things go in. And then quite quickly afterwards, other things will start to drop in, because they're going to build off the back of that. We can't build stuff off the back of an old system, as you can see. So we want to get this new one in there so that we're future-proofing ourselves and we can run all the features in. And obviously it's a very big thing. So we've got to be very, very careful it's not going to destroy or upset any sites as we're putting those upgrades in. So that is the future of going forward. So with that in mind, I want to show you the support docs. I want to kind of explain the way we're going with this, because it's starting to develop now. If you go to support docs, you're probably going to see that's changed. There seems to be more there. So here's our support doc. So it's support.newzenler.com. And straight away, if you've looked at it, you probably say, oh, that looks nice at the top there. That's new. But if you look down here, what you're going to see is you're going to see a structure change. So the way that the support docs works now is a mirror of your site. So what do I mean by that, a mirror of your site? Well, I'm saying that under site in the menu, you'll have access to things like site settings. So let's just go and prove that to you now. Let's just go in there and prove that to you. So I'll just flick a site up. Just give me a few seconds whilst I just flick the site up to show you. And Okay, so I've got a little test site here. So this will get the idea across to you what we're trying to achieve. Now, I think you'll think, wow, that's going to make it so easy to find information. So let's jump into the screen share. So if I have, for instance, I'm in site and I think, right, okay, so I've gone in site and I'm in site settings and I'm looking at maybe invoices or global includes or custom domain. Well, what you're going to see now is all you've got to remember is where did I go? Site settings. And then if you jump into the platform, you're going to go site settings. You're going to click in there and you're going to go, oh, okay. So custom domains. So this ties up with this exactly the same. So you've got site details. So what's site details? Site details. So you've got a video there. So what about invoices or notification status? So we go down here, invoices, notification status, global includes, time zone. Watch, it's actually in the order that you've got it in the system. So this makes it really easy. And this is what we intend to do for any tabs within the system itself. So you can find these things really quickly by doing that. And of course, you can also search under here as well. So if I put something like drip in, anything for drip would come up inside of here. So this is the way that we're working, and this is how it should work for you. So I want to go into something like site details because I want to show you the layout of the article itself. So I'm in site details here. So what you're going to have here is this lovely article. It's all written with lovely screenshots going on. But at the end of each of the articles, you're going to find a video. And that video duplicates what you see here in video format. So you still have this choice of watching the video or going through the document. Now, remember, some of the documents are quite big, so you might choose to watch the video instead. And that's what we've done. So that is how we're putting it all together. So it's really easy for you guys to find. Now, if you're going into the platform now and you go into an area and there's not much in there, just realize that we're still working on this. All right. So we're still working on some of these areas. You're going to see that a lot of them are being done, but when we get down to marketing and things like that, these areas have not been done. They haven't been laid out yet. So we are working our way through logically. And if you look at the site, you can actually see us in progress. So like if you jump in, you'll go, oh, you've done that bit now, because you'll see that it says site homepage and then down here, and you'll see exactly where I'm up to because you can look at it in your site. So this is the way that we're working with it. And hopefully this will make it really easy for you guys to find all the information that you need. Now, I want to jump back to the tutorial site. And I just want to show you a few of the other things that are going on that you need to kind of be aware of inside the platform. So back on tutorials.newzenler.com, we've looked at the on-demand. If you just want to filter challenges and boot camps, and these are live challenges and boot camps, we run everything inside Zenler. So we run lives from our integration with Zoom inside of Zenler. So if you want to find out about any boot camps, you can click in here and you can see the latest boot camps and previous boot camps that we've already run inside there. Any live events we've got going on, if you go to your live events, you can see these live events that we run. And I want to point out that we have Zen Chat in here and Zen Zone. These are two really good things to go to. Zen Chat is a networking club. So you go in there and you get to know people and you get to network with people and maybe share information and these sort of things. It's really good. It alternates every 2 weeks. So it's twice a month at 4 p.m. BST time. Next, we have Zen Zone. So Zen Zones are co-working sessions. They're 4 hours each. When you enter a Zen Zone session, you should have one goal in mind. And within that 4 hours or less, you should complete that goal. You always have a Zenler educator in there to help you if you get stuck at any stage. These are two massively underused resources that you should be going to. Of course, we've got office hours, which runs alternately between 5 and 10 a.m. every Wednesday. And we have a day with Zenler that runs the last Friday of each month. So they're our live events going on in the platform. And we also have latest features. So you can look in here and see the latest features that are going on for Pro and Premium members. Next down here, we have actually put this. If you have just upgraded to the Pro or Premium plan, you might want a guided tour of what's available to you now you are on that plan, because obviously free users don't get access to lives and a myriad of other things they do not get access to. So if you just come in on the upgrade for Pro or Premium, make sure you sign up for a free onboarding session with one of our Zenler educators, and they will take you through all of the features that you now have access to as a Pro or Premium member. Okay. So down here, we have resources. I'm not going to go through these, but I do suggest that you go through these and have a look and see what's available, see what you can do. You can see newsletters, have your say, all of our resources, Zenler comparison against other platforms, and the plan packages that we've got, technical support. And then you've got a little bit more information here. You've also got the Zenler app links down there if you want to get on the Zenler app. So that is our tutorials.newzenler.com site. So this is our educational training that we deliver to you, and all of the stuff that we deliver to you at Zenler is absolutely free. If someone tells you to pay for something and you think it's Zenler official, it's not. We don't charge you for any of our training, whether you be free, pro or premium. We like to make sure that it's completely unbiased as to whether you've paid on the platform or not. We realize that by helping you at the free stage, you will upgrade. We do expect you to upgrade at some point, being a free user, because after all, you're using it professionally, and we would expect that. And for some of the free features might be taken away at any point in time. You are getting that for free. So we do expect that, but the choice is yours, and you still have access to all of our great training that we're bringing you day in, day out. So that is our educational training for you here at Zenler. So I hope you like this little presentation and that you get stuck into the tutorial site. Definitely look around all the videos that we've got on our YouTube channel. There's a ton of resources on our YouTube channel. You have Zen pop-ups, all the day with Zenlers with special guests. Most of the day with Zenlers, we do actually have guests we do have instructors that are using Zenler. They are in these. So you definitely check these out, because there's some gold dust in there. And you've also got all the pro interviews. By the way, also in the past sessions of A Day with Zenler, they are time chaptered. So if we go into this one, for instance, you're going to see down here that you can jump to those particular areas of interest. If you're interested in MAMI, how to record a course on a budget, you can click that and it will jump straight to that part of the video. So we've made it really easy for you to find that information. We're always looking for ways to make things even easier for you from an educational front. We do, at this stage, we do actually base a lot of what we do on what you are asking us. And you might see often in the Facebook group, there'll be people from Zenler, such as me, asking people questions like, what would you like to see? Why are you finding that difficult? What are you finding? And the reason that we're doing that is just to get some actual user feedback from you. And this is really important to us, because we need to move forward. We need to be making sure that we're embracing everybody and you're getting the information that you need as quickly as possible. Like, time is money. You know, time is a precious commodity. We don't want to be in front of your face and you watching hours of video when you just need a minute's worth of training and to be able to get on and do your job. And that's what we're working towards. So hopefully that's really clear for you on what we're trying to do with the support docs and how we're trying to tie everything together and just turn it into this seamless system where you can find information just intuitively. Okay. So also remember that on our YouTube channel, you can search in there as well. So if you want to search in there, you can do that. For general questions, always put them into the Facebook group, because there's tons of really helpful users, advanced level users, that will actually give you answers to your questions. If we don't cover them, they definitely will. So kudos to you guys that are helping out on the platform as well. So that's the educational slot done. Sorry, I was trying to make it a little bit different this week for you, because I know it can seem a bit repetitive. So I wanted to go into a little bit about what we're doing, why we're doing it, and all of those sort of things as well. So that is the educational slot for A Day with Zenler. Hi guys. So yeah, I hope you like that little educational slot. Tried to make it a little bit different there for you guys to see a little bit more detail about some of the things that you can do, such as the Zen Zone sessions and obviously our networking club, which is Zen Chat, which is hugely popular, and you definitely want to jump in there and experience that. So we're going to move on now, because what we have got coming up on the 11th of October is our live virtual impact summit. A bit of a mouthful that, but it is our first live summit, and it's looking at all the live aspects that we brought in over the year. So we brought in loads of things for live aspects of Zenler. If you look on our YouTube channel, new features, you'll just see loads of them in there. And we've added this. We've been very responsive with it to what you've been telling us, and we've been adding all these things. And now we thought, wow, well, actually, let's run a summit. Let's just do it. Let's show people how it's done. Now, there are many ways to do it. As Kevin has said this many times, there's many ways of running a summit, as there's many ways of creating a course or a membership site on Zenler. So, but the thing is, we're going to run this. The next one we don't do might be slightly different. However, at the end of it, when we've finished, we're actually going to run on the next day with Zenler. We're going to show you how we did it. So you get behind the scenes look. So Alice will tell you about all the preparation. Mammy will tell you about all the social media, how us as a team talked about it. Kevin, Rakesh, all these things. And then we'll show you how we put it all together as well. Liz will be on there as well, because she's going to be co-hosting as well with Mammy on there. I'm working on some of the technical aspects, which I won't tell you about, but I'll tell you about it afterwards. So to see what's going on and see how we run it, you really need to be in there. So you need to be in that summit. So I've got a little bit of presentation now that Alice runs. So I'm going to talk about that, and we're going to see some of the key speakers that we've got coming in on this live challenge, this live summit. And also I'm going to put the link into the chat where the live summit is, so you can register now. We like to give this to you guys first before we open it up to the world to join our live summit. So it's absolutely free, doesn't cost you a penny, but enjoy this little half an hour presentation on the summit. I'll see you after this, where we've got more exciting stuff from A Day with Zenler. Welcome to this slot. So in this slot, what I want to talk about is the Live Impact Virtual Summit, which we've got running on October the 11th. Now, what this is covering all aspects or live aspects of running lives for things as summits, symposiums, etc., etc. So we have lots of guest speakers on with us, and I want to make sure that you are registered for this as soon as you can. Please register. So if you go to our Zenler Live Summit.newzenler.com, then you'll be able to go in here and basically register for this summit. So once you've registered, then we will automatically enroll you straight into the live summit, and then you'll have access to book yourself on all of the live sessions that we're going to release to you. So I will inform you more, but get in there, register now, so that you've got your place and you're all booked in. So I just want to run through and just introduce you to some of the key speakers which have done some recorded content for us. So I'm going to be showing you those recordings now, and you can see our speakers that we've got on, or some of them at least. So it gives you a little bit of a glimpse on what they're talking about for our first live virtual summit with Zenler. So enjoy from the speakers, and I'll be back when they've finished.
The Zenler Live Impact Virtual Event Summit is a one-day, 12-hour live event where 13 speakers from all around the world will come together and share their knowledge and experience in managing the live aspects of digital business today. From teaching live classes, live streaming on social media, and even running your own live events. There's something for everyone. And did I mention that it's free? That's right. In true Zenler form, you can register for this summit 100% free. It's all happening on Tuesday, October 11th. Just go to zenlerlivesummit.newzenler.com and register to claim your free spot today. And today I have with me a very special guest, one of our key speakers for the Live Impact Virtual Event Summit. I have with me today, John Orion. Welcome, John. How are you?
I'm very well, Alice. Thank you for interviewing me. I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be really good. I mean, one of the things I really like about Zenler is all the training that you guys do. And so to be part of it, this is great.
Yes, and that's really the key piece of our summit, is that we're really focused on helping our members leverage those live aspects of business online today. And what a better way to do that than to introduce the members of Zenler that are actually doing that right now. So I really love that you're here with us. I'm so happy that you will be speaking at the summit. And your talk is going to be about using live classes to spread joy and build community. So we don't want to get too deep into John's topic because you need to register for the summit for that. And you can do that by going directly to the summit site, which is zenlerlivesummit.newzenler.com, and you can register for a free spot there. But what we will do maybe, John, is tell us a little bit about what it is that you do and how it is that you're using Zenler and how long you've been using Zenler.
I've been using Zenler since probably October 2019. I remember that because I was going to build my website in another tool, and Zenler was going to be part of the training piece. And then I realized, no, everything is going to be built on Zenler. So now when you go to play at creation, it's on Zenler. And the other stuff I'm not using. So anyway.
It turned out really well for you then.
It has turned out really well, actually. And this, what I'm going to be talking about on the 11th is the second of 3 schools, if you want to call it that, because I'm on the pro version, and I started off with Play at Creation, right? So Play at Creation is the main site, and then one of my students at Play at Creation, and we can talk about that if you want, but one of my students took my prompting to because I've been saying UQuest should be your venture. You should be doing this, because she has been the driving force here in Calgary. And so finally she said, okay, John, I'll do that, but I want you to come with me. So I ended up going with Louise, and over the last year or something, we built UQuest. Now we've been actually doing this for a couple of years since the pandemic started, middle of March 2020. I still remember very clearly us deciding, well, do we continue to meet in person, which is what we were doing before, or do we go online? And we went online. And at that time, I don't think we had live as yet. I was still using Zoom. And it wasn't until last January, that we actually started using the live classes. And for us, I mean, we let our folks know it was all experimental. We aren't sure how this stuff is going to work. Let's go try it, and let's play and see what happens. So it's been very good. I've turned off my Zoom account, so that saved me money there. I've kept the Vimeo going for a little bit because I've got a lot of videos there that I have to take off. That also is going to get turned off. And Zenler covers all of that stuff for me. So that's really good, really cool.
Yeah, it is amazing. One of the features that our members have been the most excited about recently is that native integration with Zoom and not having to have that additional paid Zoom account, especially since recently, just this year, Zoom added a time limit even to one-on-one communications of that 40 minutes. It used to be on Zoom, you could have that 40-minute limit only on group calls and conversations.
Yeah.
And the one-to-one was unlimited, but they put a limit on the one-to-one. And so a lot of people were like, oh no, I'm going to have to now pay for Zoom. Except in Zenler, that's included inside of Zoom with the Zoom is included with Zenler, which has had a really great impact for people financially. I mean, it may only be $25 or a month for the basic Zoom, but it costs more for webinar features and all of those things if you want to take advantage of that with Zoom. So the savings has been quite significant for many people, to be sure.
Yeah, and so even my ad hoc meetings now, they aren't classes or I'm not teaching something, but if I want to meet with somebody, I say, okay, let's meet at 3:00 on Wednesday, and 5 minutes before the hour, I'll send you the invitation, and you just pop in.
Absolutely.
And so the other piece that I'm going to be looking at using the lives and classes together is maybe use this as the storage space for all of the documents we create and the conversations we have, which I record on Zoom, and so they're sitting there for us to go back and refer to. What did we say we were going to do with this? In fact, I'm working with a fellow. We're doing a joint venture around the play creation stuff and some of the stuff that Tom has, and we're using live webinars. Now it's the interactive webinars that we use, right? Because I want him to be online and talking and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's working out pretty well as well. It's always when this stuff comes out, let's go and experiment, see what we can do with this.
Exactly. And that, that's the nice thing is that you can experiment, right? Mm-hmm. Those tools are built in there so that you can experiment. And that's kind of what the summit is about giving other members an inside look at how our members have already been experimenting and how they've been leveraging that access to those live features to engage their communities, to sell their courses, their memberships, to build communities as you have, John. So that's a really key aspect. In today's online businesses, community building has never been more important. At least I think so. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's one of the reason we have that little tagline for UQuest. And it is all about spreading joy. And this is the joy that comes from making music yourself. And it used to be before radio and TV and so on, every home had a piano. And the entertainment was you'd gather around the piano and somebody would play and the rest would sing songs. And that's what we were trying to do with ukulele. It's such a forgiving instrument. And really the people who play ukulele are really welcoming and forgiving. And I mean, you can't really go wrong with it, right? You just come together and you play. And so this idea of spreading joy and building community, I mean, that's one of the most important things that we can do is to cherish your community, right? And so we've been having fun. There were times when we with Louise and myself would think, oh, do we keep doing this? And invariably somebody would come up and say to us, what a difference this was making for them. Every Saturday at least they would be able to come together and they had their friends from across the world. When we started, we had like 40 people who were the core that were meeting. Now we're up to 250.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're now thinking about, well, what do we do next year? Right. So anyway.
And you might have a little insight about that during your talk, maybe. Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yes.
And if they want to know that. And I think John also has another surprise for during his talk that I know I'm personally excited about. So you're going to
have to make sure we have time for that. Okay. So you're going to be the watcher.
Yes, I'm going to be on it to make sure that we have time for it. Do you want to tell them what you might be doing? What might be popping up? Do we want to share?
Well, sure. Yeah. I mean, it's about UQuest, a ukulele group. And the whole idea is that you play and sing. You can't do anything wrong. So I will play and sing a song.
Sing a song. So besides this great talk and information around spreading joy and building community through those live classes, we're going to get a live demonstration of what that looks like. And I'm quite sure it's going to bring a lot of joy. I feel joy just thinking about it. So it's going to be pretty amazing. So is there anything that you want people to know about your talk and why they should pop on and have a listen?
Yeah, I mean, we aren't going to get into the technical aspects of it because you've got lots of training about that. I'm going to be talking about it more from UQuest's point of view, why we did it, when we did it, and what people are getting. One of the things that I really like is several different people have said how welcoming and safe this space feels, even compared to other music groups. And that is really important. And that's one of the things, when we get into the Q&A and stuff, that I can talk to some of the other, my Zenler peers, I guess. They may have suggestions on how I can do things even better. But the whole point is to come out and experiment and let the members of your community kind of build your community with you. Let them know that this is all experimentation. This is all playing at creation.
Exactly. Playing at creation. I love that. And yeah, just come and enjoy and learn and grow. And I love, John, that you mentioned that it's not about the technical pieces, because at Zenler, one of our key things, responsibilities that we feel as a company is to provide as much technical training and support and education as we can, so that members are able to build what they want on our platform. So the technical pieces aren't exactly what we're talking about. It's all of those other things that it comes to when it comes to managing those live aspects of your business that our members like you are experts at, because you've been doing it. And this is an opportunity for you to share those insights, and for other members who may be just starting out or thinking about adding those live aspects to their business, for them to come in and really hear what those experiences and insights are. And so I think that'll be very valuable. I'm really looking forward to it. Yes,
Good.
indeed.
Good.
Yes. So with that, thanks everybody. Thank you, John, for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to your talk and the singing. I cannot wait.
And I will practice. and the song is Working Man. So it's the British it's about the British coal miners and so on. So if somebody watching this sings or plays guitar or whatever, and you want to sing along, how would we get the music out, the PDF out? I wonder. I could probably put it into the chat when we start or something, and maybe even share it online. I have to figure out how we do that.
Yeah, absolutely. We will make sure that we find a way for people to have that. And again, if you want to register and you want to be there when John is singing live at the Zenler Summit, you will go to Zenler-live-summit.newzenler.com, so you can register and reserve your free spot. So with that, we will see you all on October 11th. And I look forward to seeing you then too, John.
Bye.
Bye.
Make sure you get your seats way up by the stage.
Yes, way up by the stage. Squeeze it in. Bye for now.
And today we have with us a very special guest, Tracy, who is a key speaker at our summit. So how are you, Tracy?
I'm fine, thank you. It's lovely to catch up online with you.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is ours. Also, on the day of the summit, Tracy is covering the Evergreen Live Summit model, which is amazing because you would be covering how to do an Evergreen model on the day of the summit. So if you want to attend Tracy's talk, you have to register on zenlersummit.newzenler.com. But Tracy, can you share with us a little overview or outline of how your talk is going to be?
Sure. Back in 2020, early 2020, just before COVID hit the world, I started, it was a bit of a marketing ploy in one way, is I started a summit, an online evergreen summit on a different platform. And the premise was you could register and attend free if you attend live. And then you only had a short number of hours to watch a replay. Over time, I did this once to twice a month on a specific subject, and it was very, very targeted. There's not too many in the world that would really want to come along and listen, but I certainly had enough, and I ended up with about 800-900 people wanting this education. If they wanted to access all of the content library, then of course they could subscribe and access that at any time. So it's a great marketing tool to be able to run monthly live sessions. And I called it an evergreen summit because it was using a summit platform. It had its limitations, and I had actually purchased Zenler back in 2019, but it took me a lot longer to learn the platform and for the platform to have the features that I needed. And so that didn't get launched on Zenler until I think it was September 2020 for a different membership. And then I started transferring this summit concept over to Zenler. So everything is now on Zenler, which is great.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And that really feels good because you are one of our founding members and you've stayed there waiting for the updates, waiting for the features to come in so that it can help you. So you're truly one of our founding members. And like you shared, you made that shift from that platform to Zenler. So how has your experience been with Zenler now, especially focusing on the live aspect of it?
The live aspect is everything. Everything that I do live then gets converted into a course afterwards. But there are still features of the lives. I do live classes for a monthly Q&A. I had live classes within a course, a closed course as well, which worked really well for 15 weeks every week. The live interactive webinars is how I run the IQ, what I call it IQ Summit, IntelliQuilter Summit. And that allows for all the participants to sort of see each other on the screen, but obviously I close down their audio and they can't share the screen. And that was because we didn't have the live webinars back then. And I hadn't quite changed it over to just a live webinar. I'm still using the interactive live webinars for those. But that's the absolute basis of my two memberships, really. The higher membership gets all of the computer education, the IntelliQuilter education, plus so much more business skills as well. So they are more pre-prepared courses that they can work their way through and resources that they can access as a library of content as such for when they need it. But as time has gone by and Zenler keeps introducing new features, I've been able to drop other things as well, especially my blog and the WordPress site. Now everything is on the new Zenler site, all contained. A couple of little things that I still do elsewhere, but I'm desperate for the community update so that I can improve in that area. But at this point, I'm still going to wait a little bit longer before I force myself to go elsewhere. I'm hoping I don't have to.
No, absolutely. We are working on that. And Rakesh has always been sharing that is one update that would be coming very soon. And like you shared, we do try to give an all-in-one platform to our members so it becomes easier for them to run their academies or businesses. And like I said, thank you so much for being one of our founding members and staying there and waiting and growing with Zenler. You did also share that, you easily get about 800 to 900 participants in all the summits or the lives that you do. And that is an amazing number. So when you create a live summit or when you start doing a live summit, how do you actually go about marketing it or, reaching out the right audience?
I do use the email broadcast within Zenler. So that's another thing. I have a third-party integration, but I actually don't use it much. I am keeping everything inside Zenler at this stage. I have, I think I'm up to about a 67% open rate on my emails. Obviously, that's to a larger number. I think I'm over 2,000. And these are all qualified leads that have chosen to opt in to receive newsletters. The 700-800 that are IQ Summit, a lot of those are still free paid ticket holders as such. But as time goes on and every month when I introduce a new class, I'm gradually getting people convinced that I'm giving them value and that they want to access the library of content from the last 2.5 years. So I'm continually trying to promote the benefits of being a subscriber to either membership. And that's how, it's really worked for me. But no, to promote those lives, it's in 2 different Facebook groups. It's direct marketing through the email marketing within Zenler, as well as, the newsletter each month. So, it works.
That is absolutely amazing. And all the people who are listening to us right now, if you have to learn how to run an evergreen live summit model, you have to attend Tracy's talk on the 11th of October, and you can go and register on zenlerlivesummit.newzenler.com. All the people who would want to come to your talk, Tracy, what is that one thing that they would go back with? Like, in a nutshell, what is that one thing that they would go back with?
How to use your valuable content, your message in your live, to convince people that they need to learn more. That is the main thing. Every single live session is turned into a course, and like I said, they get that at one time, but they've got to show up. They have to put the effort in, and once they do, they realize that they could get so much more out of the membership. So it is providing a service to all my customers, but a valuable service, but B, asking them to take responsibility for their own education by committing to work through all the classes that I've provided in that time. So it benefits us both. You have to have a benefit for both your student or your customer as well as for yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that is one place where you and your clients and everybody grows together.
That's exactly.
I'm really looking forward to your talk, and I would be waiting to learn so much from you on the day of the summit. And whoever is listening to us, this is your chance to learn from Tracy, learning live summit models, especially on the day of the summit. So whoever's listening to us, if you think this is what you would want to learn, register in the link below the video, and we will see you on the day of the summit. Thank you so much, Tracy, for taking your time and being with us today. Really looking forward to it.
Thanks, Bammeet. Yes, I'm looking forward to the summit, and I'm hearing all the other speakers as well. Can't wait.
Thank you so much.
Join me, Shelley Fishel, for my session, Managing Yourself and Your Slides in a Live Presentation. This is going to help you because I'm going to share top tips on what to think about when designing your presentation, and also some other top tips on getting engagement going whilst you're presenting. So join me, Shelley Fishel, the MS Office Maestro, for my session at the Zenler Summit, Managing Yourself and Your Slides in a Live Presentation.
Hi everyone, my name's Jim Gardner from theinvestorjim.com. I'm here to tell you all about the Zenler Live Virtual Summit that's happening on the 11th of October, 2022. This summit's designed to show you the benefits that you will get from delivering your content to your audience live. When I teach people about stock market investing, many of them find the subject quite scary. It helps both them and me that I deliver it live so that they can get their questions answered in real time. If you're around on the 11th of October, join us at the Zenler Virtual Summit, and I'll show you an introduction to stock markets, and you can get any investing questions you have answered live.
Hello, my name is Carmen Sarchuk. I'm a neuro-linguist hypnotherapist. I will be presenting a session on fearfulness, the feel of feeling by choice. To generate a state, whether you're a practitioner, coach, or teacher, you can generate a state that you can make available to your client, whether for therapeutic purpose, peak performance, or mastery. See you at the summit, all right?
Hey folks, my name is Siddhanjan. I'm a mechanical engineer turned growth marketer. I'm presenting a session on funnels that can help you improve retention and conversion at the Zenler Virtual Summit. This session will help you understand why live classes can get you more upsell, cross-sell, and hence more LTV from the same traffic. Super excited to speak along with fellow speakers at the Zenler Summit. See you live on 11th October.
So I hope you enjoyed that little presentation there, showing just a few of the speakers that we've got going on in this live virtual summit. So we really hope you will attend and join us. There's a few features. What you also need to know is that if you are thinking of running a summit, we can generate a lot of money for you, or even doing a summit, even actually being on a summit and all of these things. What we're planning to do after is actually show you how we did it all. So the planning stage, Alice will be talking about that. Mammy will be coming in telling you about like how we get the speakers to do their presentation videos, what they need to do as speakers, all of the forms and things like that behind the scenes. We'll also be showing you how, and I'll be showing you how we actually put the summit together itself inside, and all of this done inside of Zenler as well, with a few really nifty tricks going in. So if you want to see how this stuff is working, you need to get in there and look. Obviously we want you to watch and get information from the summit, but for you guys running this stuff, it's going to be really, really beneficial to you. So definitely jump in there and see how it's all done, how we do it here at Zenler. Now, this is just one way that we can do this. I mean, to run a summit, there are a lot of different methods. We have had team discussions on what approach we're going to take with this particular one. And it might be a case that in the next one, we run a different method. So understanding how the system works is going to be really good for you guys. So what we're planning to do is in the next day with Zenler, that's the end of October, after the summit has run, we're going to be on here. We're going to have the team on here showing you what they did for their part of putting this all together. And I will show you how we'll actually go into the summit and you can look how it's all been put together inside there. You can ask your questions as well, and it should be a real fun one. So we're planning that for the end of October to run how we did it all. So hope you enjoy it, and definitely sign up. You know where to go. So jump in there now and sign up and register yourself for the summit, not to miss out. You know, it's all about you guys that are on our paid plans, Pro and Premium. You need to know this information. You know, you need to know how this stuff is being put together. You need to see how people are using the live features of Zenler to be able to deliver either one-to-one coaching, group coaching, running a summit or symposium. You need to know how this stuff's put together. And this is really the quickest way that you can learn this stuff. Rather than just flapping and trying it yourself and having lots of errors, you can actually go in there and you can see what we're doing. So it's really beneficial. I cannot stress this enough. I know that after we run this and reaching November, December, there will be questions in the group. How do you run a summit? Did you attend the summit? No, I didn't attend it. I didn't register for it. And then we'll be like, well, so jump in there, learn it, and then you'll be flying on creating a really, really big revenue stream for your business. Also, remember that if you do this and you're running these sort of things, you can also run these for other people as well. So understanding this can also create its own revenue stream in itself by you creating and setting up summits for other people. So, you know, there's lots of money-making ways that you can deliver this live aspect to Zenler to either clients or to run it yourself. So make sure you jump in, register today for the summit and enjoy. And I hope you've enjoyed all the speakers. It's so good. I mean, remember, all these guys are doing it for free as well. We do have more as well. There are 13 speakers that we have, and we will be running panels as well. So you can ask questions. We will be active within the chat, within the lives as well. And there's a few other cool things coming your way as far as that's concerned. So make sure you jump in and take the summit and learn everything you need to know about live digital business for you. So guys, Judah, you were laughing there because saying about, you know, you want to set a summit up, and if you don't see this, you're not going to know how we do it, especially the challenge afterwards. If you've actually been there, you've got lots of questions to ask. Maybe watch the summit, register for it, watch the whole summit and see how we've done things, and then write some questions down, because you know the following, at the end of October, a day with Zenler, we're going to be running this. And if you've got all your questions written down, you can just post them in there and it would be really good because we can answer those questions. You know, we love questions. You guys generally, if you'll ask questions after we've done something, and we're like, oh, I wish you'd have gone in there, you could have asked those questions. So you get what we're getting at here. So, right, are you ready for some great hacks, tips and tricks for your course creation stuff on Zenler? Okay, so I've got 2 recordings here, so we're going to definitely run over the 6 o'clock. I think the stream will still carry on through. If not, I might restart it up or add it onto the replay. So Judith's saying yes, excellent. So that's brilliant. You've been with us for most of this session, so it's really good that you're watching this. Right, let's do it then. Let's go into tips and hacks part 1. This is 45 minutes, but it's full of tips. Like every single thing I'm going, that's a tip, that's a tip, that's a tip. So this will help you speed up your productivity with the platform massively. Okay, so some of these things that we're talking about, like reusing content, and also these things are going to help you as well get your mind straight with things like image sizes and that sort of thing. These are real hurdling blocks for people, and although we do give you specific size in the platform, I want you to know that you only have to remember one size. I'm going to talk about it all in the hacks and tips and tricks, but I'll show you lots of tips along the way. So I'm just going to get on with it. I'm not going to ramble on. After I've run these presentations, I'm hoping to show you 2 new things that we're going to introduce to the group. We're going to do some live streaming into the group, and we have 2 things that we're going to do. One's going to apply, and I'll let you know a little tip here. One's going to apply to the course creators that are doing stuff for people on the Zenler group. I will say no more, but you're going to love it. So let's jump in. Tips and hacks part 1. Here we go. Hi guys, welcome to this slot. So this slot is all about time saving tips when using Zenler. And also we're going to just set up some templates in Canva as well. This will also save you a ton of time. So our main goal here is to speed up your workflow so that you can just work more efficiently and quicker. And there'll be some top tips and some hacks in there as well. So we're going to try and do as many as we can do. Drop stuff in the chat and I can answer it. So I can actually answer this. This is pre-recorded, this content. So I'm showing you these tips because some areas might be blurred out, etc. And it also means I can be extremely efficient by editing the video down and giving you the content rather than waiting for any page loading and any of those things. I will try and show you it in real time as well, so you can actually see the flow and see how quick a Zenler is to work with. So because I am here, I am actually by the computer. So if you put stuff in the chat, I can then answer that whilst the video is running, which is really efficient for you. It means you get 2 of me. So let's get on with this and just show you some of the top tips that you should be looking at if you are a professional course creator. creator. So we'll be looking at the Zen pop-up site that I have kind of reset back to what it is. So let me just bring myself down so I'm not in the way, and try and bring myself even smaller so I'm kind of in that area, so I'm not going to get in the way of the menu or anything like that. Okay, so let us start with this now. So we have the zenpopup.newzenler.com site, which is kind of a site that I use to test things out. This is kind of the default layout. Yeah, I've put the Zenler logo in and I've changed the header background, all simple stuff. And we started with this main page here. So what I want to do now is the first thing I want to talk about is Canva. So I want to jump into Canva and just set a base template up and just sort of get that ready for media that I'm creating for things like course cards, etc. So we're going to jump into our Canva account. I'm just going to go back to the screen share here whilst I log into my account and show you what we're doing. So let's go in. Right, first question that I'm always asked, or we are always asked on our Facebook group, is image sizes and stuff. Now, what I tend to do is make it really easy for myself. Now, unless I'm going for a specific look, maybe I want all my images to be square, I would be working with these dimensions. So if I want all images square, it doesn't matter if I want them square or I want them in HD format, I just always use the same ratios. So generally for everything I'm doing, I'll work in a ratio of 1920 by 1080. Now that's high HD. Okay, so this means you could even go up to 2K or even 4K inside. The ratio of 16 by 9, which is 1920 by 1080, is 16 by 9. So that's the ratio that we're working at. Now, most things inside the Zenler platform are at that ratio. So things like your videos that you're producing, hopefully you are producing them at HD. And even if you put them on things like YouTube, it'll be all resized to HD anyway. It might be a standard HD, but we're working with high HD. So 1920 by 1080. Now, the benefit of oversizing is that we can always bring things down. If you bring things up in size, they get blurred. And that's why a lot of people that are using really small images and put them as background images have really blurry images, because they're too small to start with. So if you stick with this one size ratio, 1920 by 1080, if you're doing square images for whatever reason, then you want to work with 1920 by 1920. Okay, this way you can always crop the top and bottom and make it 1080. So it gives you that flexibility of working. So this is what I generally work with. For this particular site at the moment, what we're going to do is work with 1920 by 1080, and we're going to work inside Canva to create our designs. Now, I'll point out there is a ton of different programs you can use, but it's pretty much industry standard that a lot of non-professionals will be using something like Canva to create their graphics. If you're actually a professional designer and those sort of things, you'll probably be using some of the Adobe suite or even other softwares completely to produce more professional effects. But we are talking about Canva now. So this is a free Canva account you're looking at now. If you have the paid version of Canva, and we're not affiliated to Canva in any shape or form, although we do integrate with it in certain sections, then that's really good, because you do get a lot of extra things that are given to you, such as templates and things in the paid version of Canva. So definitely something to think about if you're thinking about a program to use that's really intuitive and easy for the novice to use, a bit like the way Zenler is. It's made for everybody, you know, even if you've never created courses or this sort of content before, or even done web design, Zenler is made intuitively easy so that you can use it all efficiently. So let's create a design. Let's go in here. I go down to custom size, and I always enter my size in here. You can see recent size because I've got it down here, 1920 by 1080, but I'll type it in here so you guys can see. So 1920 by 1080. And we'll just click create new design. So it's going to give us a blank canvas with this design. You're also going to see that it says untitled up here. This is something people don't do often. If I was to close this design down now, and I was to go down into my account, I was just to refresh this page, then you'll see inside here that we have that untitled design. So inside here, you can see lots of things going on that we're working on for you guys. So inside here, we can call this base Zenler size. And I always like, although it says it underneath it, I just do like a 1920 by 1080. I always like to put the size in on the graphics and hit enter. And now we've got that. So if I open that up again, you're going to see that we have a nice blank template to work with. So we might want to drop an image in there. Now, there's a few ways we can drop image. We can upload, or we can pick an image straight from Canva itself, which you could do. The other way is to go to something like Pixabay, where you can grab some free images. So in Pixabay, we can actually grab an image for a background or something. So we're going to look at both methods. We're going to go into photos first of all. I'm inside the search. I'm going to look for something like laptop because I just want to do this as a sort of Zenler site with this. So I've got some nice images down here. You're going to see that some of them have pro written on them, which means I can't use it with this free account, but I have a lot that are not. Anything with this little crown is pro, so you need to be a paid user to use it. But everything that isn't, you can pick from here. Now, if you don't find something you want from here, and I'll just drag one of these images in to show you. So there we go, put that image in there. If you don't find an image you like in here, you can go to a site called Pixabay. So I'm just going to flick up into my Pixabay account. And in here, you can download and upload images into the system itself. So let's go and go to Pixabay. So let me go here. So this is pixabay.com, and you can find lots of free resources in here. They do supplement themselves by putting things like iStock on here on some of them as well. But you can go in here and we could type in here laptop and then just hit enter. And you're going to see that under laptop, because I've spelt it wrong, nothing's come up except for paid iStock. So here we go. We've got some here. So you've got some images inside here. So if I wanted to upload, for instance, this image here, I could click this image. And then when I go to free download, I would pick bigger than the size that I've got for my template. So in this case, you know, it's 1920 by 1080. Now this is 1920 by 1246. So this will actually do width-wise, it is the 1920. Or if I'm going to use it for other things as well, maybe for print, I might even grab a larger size just to keep. So I'm going to click download to that. And it's going to ask me to join. I'm just going to join with Facebook here as I'm in that account. So now it's allowed me to join, and you can see that it's downloaded the file there. So it has actually downloaded that file into my download folder. So I've just opened it there. You can see that under my download folder, I now have that image. So we'll now upload that image into our Canva template. So I've shown you how to pull it out from the right, and now we're going to upload it. So if I go to upload, I can go upload file. And then I can go and find that file, which is in my downloads folder. And there it is there. And I can click open. And then it will upload. So this is another way of getting some free content into Canva that Canva hasn't got. Okay, so you can do that with this. And now it's uploaded, I can drag it across into here. So you can see I've got two images. I've got the one I dragged in from Canva, and I've got this one. Now, little tip, if you drag it into the corner, or you start to drag it around into here, or more importantly, if I take it and I drag it across, you'll see it will snap. Do you see how it snaps into the background? Now, if you forget to do that, no problem. If I want to set this as a background, I can right-hand click and I can set image as a background. Now, what that means is that's now the background of that image, and you can't move it. Do you see that? If I want to detach it, I can right-hand click again and detach from background. So this is a way of setting a background for an image, and it will crop in at that size inside there. Now, if you don't want to do that and you want to sort of adjust it a little bit yourself, what you can do is detach it from the background. You could resize it, put it in position, and then you can just lock it here. So now I still can't move this around because I've locked it. But if I select it and I unlock it, I can now move it around. So that's the difference. So what I'll do is I'll just set this as a background image and lock it in there. So now I've created a 1920 by 1080 size image, and I have that in there, and I can export that out and I can use that in my site. So I could just drop this image. If I'm just using this image, I could just drop it straight into our Zenler site from the downloaded Pixabay image that we had. So I'm going to show you both methods. I'm going to leave this Canva window open, and I'm going to then just jump into our Zen pop-up. Now, what I want to do for this is I want to create a brand new homepage. I don't want to base it on the default pages that are set up inside of Zenler. So I'm going to go to my admin area now, and I'm going to go and create a brand new page from scratch. Yeah, we're still going to have the header, that's the menu area at the top, the dynamic one, and we're going to have the footer, which again is the dynamic one, but I'm not going to be using a page that I've already got in here. Now, so you can see this is the page that we were looking at a second ago. If I preview that, you can see that page. There it is. It's the default page. So I don't want to use that page. I want to set up a brand new page, and I want to call it Zenler's the Best or something like that. So I'm going to click Add a Page. I don't tend to use these templates, but you could. I'm going to use blank page, and I'm going to publish the page visible for all users. So if you have it just for this, it would only be logged in users. I don't want this visible for everybody because it is a home page. So I'll just put welcome to the best online creation platform, maybe a bit long. Let's go and select this text for the URL. So I'm going to go copy, paste it in there, and I'm going to click add. And what will happen now is it'll add that as a page inside our setting, but it will also open the editor to start editing that page. Now, because it is a blank page, it's got nothing in it. So we're going to use it as an example of how you would upload media from either Pixabay when you've downloaded it, or if you've exported out of Canva. So this is my first kind of big tip for you. So let's go first of all, we've got this nice blank block in here. Now, this sets the blank block up default because it knows that you're going to be adding content to it. But we could start from fresh. I could delete it out, and then we just have the header and the footer. And then I could just go to blocks, empty block, and I could drag that block in there, and we're back to where we started. So I want to use that image that we got from Pixabay, and I want to upload it into here. So, but before I do that, I'm just going to put some text in there. So I'm going to go add a row. I'm going to do a single 100% row. Now I'm going to add an element. Remember, when you're using Zenler, you've got blocks, blue blocks contain everything. Then you've got rows that control what's inside the block. And then you have elements. So we click elements, and we're going to go to something like headings. And I'm just going to drag a heading and call it the best platform is, and then Zenler. Okay. And then I'll just leave that in that color for now. So I'm going to put a background image in here. What we're going to do first of all is we're going to upload from Pixabay. So I'm going to go into the gear icon for the main block, and we're going to go across to background image. I'm going to click in here, and I've got some images already in here. Yours might be empty if you're starting fresh. And I'm going to go upload image, and I'm going to go and find that image. It's in my downloads folder. There it is there. Remember, we downloaded it from Pixabay. That's the same image that we uploaded to Canva, and we're going to click open. And then it's going to come up with, do you want to crop it or not? So at this stage, you could crop it if you want to. I tend to just hit upload without crop. And what will happen is that will now be put in as a background image for our block. So there it is there. Now, you might be like, well, where is the image? It's down there. Remember, it can only show as much of the image as is in as much as the block is showing. So I can change the position and things like that in here. And if I go to our settings here for the block, you're going to see background image position. So what does this mean? So this means that wherever the image is in the block, that's the position that it will be showing from. So in this case, it's showing from the top left. So the top left, and then the image is showing whatever's showing in the block. So if I change this to top center, it will show us the center of the image, or top right. Now it's doing it exactly as we want it. So I'm going to go center, and it will jump because it's now the center of the page. So when you're putting background images in, realize it's based on where you've put it in the page, center, top left, top middle, whatever, and how much of that image you're showing. So I'm pulling here. You can see I've got this says 14 pixels. If I move it up, it says 93, and then it goes 240. You never see this text appear. This is just a way of making the padding, that's the space around the row, bigger. So that's all it is. So that's how we can do it, just uploading an image that we've got from Pixabay. So let's now look at how we can edit an image inside of Canva, this image we put in, and then we can use that and use that as a background image. So say, for instance, I wanted to do something really cool and special with this, like I wanted to go and maybe grab a few photos and these sort of things. So I could go in here and I could drag in lots of images like this, and we can have these as background images. So I'm just dragging stuff in, and let me just go to a few more that are free. So I'm going to just drag that in there, bring it down. So I'm almost making a kind of nice little kind of montage. A little tip here as well, if you hold the Alt key, you can crop. Do you notice? If you grab these corner areas, you crop. And if you hold the Alt key, it will do it from both sides. So there's a little bit of a tip for you there, which is what this session is all about. So let's grab this one. There we go. Let's drag that in there. Let's use that method to drag this down to make it a better picture. So now I've created kind of cool montage thing going on. Now, if I hold the Shift key, I can multiply select different elements and resize them all at the same time. So now we've got this cool kind of effect going on. This I might make a bit bigger just to get it into the corner. Notice that it crops off where it goes over the edge of the canvas. Okay, so now I've got this kind of funny montage thing going on, which looks kind of cool. Let's bring it down. Let's do that. Kind of works. So I got this. So now I can output this and use this. So if I go to share and I go to download, I can download this as a JPEG. Now, why would I pick JPEG over PNG? Well, PNG is a bigger file size generally because it holds an alpha channel. So it's a bit of extra information. So if you're doing it via JPEG, it's a flattened image, so it's smaller in image size. You'll also see inside here, you can do a size adjustment as well. Now I'm using the free account, so I can't change the size or the quality. I've got to leave it as it is. So that again is a benefit for the paid plan, but I've got it as JPEG. I'm going to click download. This will download this image into my download folder. So you're going to see it come up there. And notice it's called the same as my file name, which I named it, which was here. So now I'm going to upload that in replace the background image that's in here. So I'm going to go to settings here, and where I've got the background image, I'm going to select it all and hit backspace. It'll just clear it out. And I'm going to go to the background image, upload, and I'm going to go into my folder, my download folder. You can see this new image. So that's the original from Pixabay. This is the Canva edited one, and I'm going to click open, and I'm going to upload without crop, and bang, it's in there. So I've got this multiple sort of montage, cool looking image gone in there. Now, also inside Canva, whatever you're doing, you're uploading. Now, a little warning, another little tip, you're going to get loads of these tips coming as I'm going through this. Don't, if you can help it, put text into your exported media inside here. Now, the reason being is when you resize it, the image will resize down. It might get cropped off. It might be invisible to see because it just resizes in Pro with the image because it's a part of the image. If you can do it as live text, and that is this sort of text that you can select, then it's always going to be sharp and crisp. So this is a big tip for you. Make sure you do that. So I'm going to go in here now, and I'm just going to change this to a white, and I'm going to make it a bit bigger in here. Let's just put it on 65. And now what I want to do in here is I'm going to create an overlay. So this text stands out because at the moment it could be lost against the white colors. So I'm going to go into the settings in here, and I'm going to go to background overlay, and I'm going to choose a black. And notice this will drop down straight away. Now you can just knock this away, but it just brings that text out nicely. You can also set this a little bit differently as well. And we could even add a new block in here. Let's go and add a heading type 2 in here, and let's go. you're all in one platform, and maybe make this sort of grey colour in there, increase the size a little bit, and click save. And there we have it. So we create an overlay, but we could also create an overlay in Canva and bring it in there. So if I just turn this background overlay off, we'll go back into Canva now and we'll create an overlay for this. So I'm going to go to elements and I'm just going to grab like a square. So you can see all the different types inside here. I'm just going to grab a general square and I'm going to bring it in and I'm going to change that color to a black. I'm going to put it in the corner. And I'm going to drag this to the corner of the edges here. And now I'm going to go into here, transparency. With this selected, I can go into transparency and I can knock the transparency down. So I could set this straight away in here without having to set an overlay inside of Zenler itself, which is obviously good because you can do a little bit more with it in here. You can play around with different colors. So if I wanted to create an overlay here, I could go into this one, select that, and then I could hold the control key, the alt key. So I'm going to select this, hold the alt key and drag, and it will create a copy. And what I can do with this is I can now start to put this into different areas and maybe give it different overlay colors like red. Then I could go down here and I could take this and make this orange color. And maybe I could go into the corner here and make this a blue. So I've created a really nice special effect in here by just taking that. I don't know why that color's gone back. Let me just go in there, go down to here, change this to maybe this color. So you can see I've created a really cool effect going on. So once again, I can go into here, click to download, choose our JPEG format, leave it as it is, download. That'll download into a folder. It will be called copy to. And I'm going to jump back into my editor and we'll swap it out again. So I'm going to go into this and I'm going to go clear this out. You can actually just click this and upload the new copy, which I have here. Let's see, it's in the brackets 1. So we got the new version, click open. I'm going to upload this without crop and bang, we've got this new effect. So like, boom, instant. So this is my first tip, is to reuse content. Now I want to get on to a little bit more about Canva as well. I don't want it to be all about Canva, but now we've got that design. Look what I can do. I can duplicate that design. So if I've duplicated that design out, I can literally take unattach the background, delete it out, go into my elements like here and choose a different background for it. So let's just choose people. So we've got lots of people here. So I'm going to drag this one and I'm going to drag this in there. So now I've got people in there. I could get this block and I could start moving it out. So I'm going to actually just create an image based off the back of what we've got. So I'm going to come in here. We got that in there. So here's another kind of image style design going on. Again, I'm using that Alt key to duplicate these bits as I'm going through them. And I think I'll take this one here. Maybe I'll make it a purpley color. So that looks quite nice. I'll drop that into there. Make it a greeny color. So now I've created a brand new image. I've still got the original, but I've got this one as well. So what I can do in here is I can name it. So I'm going to call this sample 2. Now what you're going to see when I export this out is that it'll actually name it what I've named it here. So I'm going to go sample 1. So initially when you export it out, it calls it the same as the file name. But if you give it a page name here by typing that, that's what the export will be. So I'm going to show you 2 ways of exporting out. The first thing I'm going to do is just clear my downloads folder, just so that it's brand new. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to export. So I'm going to go share, I'm going to go download, I'm going to go JPEG, and this time I'm going to go all pages. Notice all pages are selected. And I'm going to leave that as it is and click download. So now what it would download, because it's multiple files, it would download a zip file. So it zips them up and puts them into a zip file. So let's show this in folder. There it is there. So if I right hand click, I can just extract all, and that will extract all. I'm extracting it to the same place. And now you're going to see you've got 2 versions in there. So really easy to use. Now, if you want to just download one file, you can go share and you can go download, and you can then unselect them and just select the file that you want to download. And if you're selecting one file to download, it will just download it as a JPEG. It won't zip it. So let's click download. Let's download that. I forgot it's actually a PNG file this time because I forgot to select JPEG, but it doesn't matter for this test. So you can see now I've got a PNG file type, and that is there. Also notice the size, 2.24 for a PNG file. It's exactly the same size as this one here, but this one is 147K. It's not even, you know, it's 10% of a megabyte. So the file size difference between PNG and JPEG is massive, massive. So if you are uploading lots of images onto a page and you have got them all as PNG file types, you can probably save yourself probably about 80% of load time by making sure that they are done in a JPEG format, which actually compresses the file down really small. I mean, you can see it yourself. I've done exactly the same thing there, 147K, as opposed to this PNG file, which is 2.24 megabytes. So that's a huge difference. So I want to take you on now back into here so we could swap this image out. So if I wanted, for instance, to put this new image in, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this block out, and we'll go down here and we'll just change this image up. So I'll put this new image in here. So I'm going to go into the downloads. I'm going to go to upload file. I'm going to select in here my new JPEG that I just put in. I'm going to click open and I'm going to upload without crop. Bang, it's done. There you go. So we've got 2 different versions or 2 different blocks in here for our homepage. So this is really powerful. Now, if I wanted to, I'm going to put a little title in here. So we're going to call this, let's call this social engagement, and keep your students happy. So we're kind of like 2 little blocks there that are nice. Now let's pretend we want this as our home page. So I'm going to click save. Remember, this is from a blank page. So if I come back into the site now, you've got this new page, blank page that we just set up. I'm going to go to home page and I'm going to make that the same page for both. So I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to click save. This is changing the home page for both logged out and logged in users. Please note that you can have a separate home page for logged in users, and you can have a separate one for logged out users. So let's look at the site now with this new block that we just bring in from Canva. So let's just do this in here, and there we go. So we got a lovely block. Notice also when we bring this down in size inside here, that it will all resize nicely. So it's good for responsive behavior as well. But also notice that the image will crop in because it is a background image, but it still looks really cool. So that is how you can easily use Canva to create these kind of templates. So remember now that if you leave your Canva account and you decide to come back, you can just go into your Canva account and go, right, I want to add a new image today. So I'm going to open up my base template. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to duplicate this page out. I don't want any of that content because I'm doing something completely different today, maybe something for social media. And I just want to create a brand new image, and I can go in there and maybe just take something like that out, this trending image here, put that in as a background image, and then put some, if it was for social media, you could put the text inside here, but you could now export this out or use other tricks and techniques using Canva. And then of course you can just output that on its own. So I would go to download, so the JPEG type. I would go, I don't want to do all pages because I've already got them. I just want to do that page, click done, click download, and that will appear in your folder like magic. So a really efficient way of working, getting these images out, either bulk producing these images. So imagine if you were doing, let's just say you were doing a social media campaign and you wanted to do, you just wanted to really hit it hard, just put a ton of different images links to a page, you just want to do some really cool stuff for your social media, you could just output tons of these, just output them in one go, and then just set up all your posts, or just post out and post them on all your social channels, and bang, the job's done. You can really be efficient with this stuff going forwards. So this moves me on nicely. That's the Canva part done. Hopefully you've gained a little bit of insight on how you can speed your workflow up with that. So what I want to do now is I want to move on and talk about templates. So ways of, this is especially important. In fact, I think it's important if you haven't, or if you have. If you've already got students and you've already got your site set up, it can be really handy not to mess around with the page on a live platform. You might decide that you actually want to just play around with things, see how things look before you launch it and show it to your students. Or you might be developing your site and you just want a page where you can explore ideas without any of those being live. The classic case would be if you're brand new and you've set up a holding page with a sign up form to capture leads in case anyone comes to your site. And also means that you can give out your URL to people if they ask you or are interested in what you're doing. You can say, go to this page, fill out this form, then they'll be captured as leads. And when you launch your site, you can then say to them, like, launch now, come in and have a look and buy any of my courses. So that's how it can work. But in the meantime, you don't want to mess around with the site while people are in there. So a good tip, my second tip, is to make a template page. So you can either base this on an existing page, or you can actually just add a page like we did earlier. So in this instant, I'm going to duplicate this page. The page will duplicate now, and we're going to go in there. So here it is here. So what I do, you'll notice it's published. I go into the gear icon, and I'm just going to close Canva down and this preview. And I'm going to unpublish that page. And all I'm going to call it, this is never a published page. This is always a page for you to test. So I'm just going to call it template. And you might have multiple template pages based on different things. Say one template page would be you're testing out how kind of images as a sort of gallery works. Another page might be, oh, you're testing out how the blocks look for call to actions. You know, you could have multiple pages, or you could do what I do and just do one page and have a splattering of different stuff through it. It's really up to you. So what I do is I unpublish the page. Now, by unpublishing the page, that is unchecking this, then that page is not available to anyone to look at apart from you. Notice it's there. It's a duplication of this page. Like I said, you could create a new page, but it's unpublished. So no one can see it except you. So if you clicked the preview page here, it will open up and you will see that page, but nobody else will. And if you want proof of that, let me just prove it to you. Let me go to this, copy this URL, go into an incognito window. By the way, another tip, make sure you're using Chrome. If you're new to this, most of you will know, make sure you're using Chrome. That's our preferred browser of choice. To go into incognito, this is a kind of testing environment. You can click these three dots, go to new incognito window, and then I'm going to paste the URL in there, and I'm going to hit enter. And it goes, oops, page cannot be found because it's not published. Okay, so this page that is published, if I do the same, will show. So if I go to incognito here and I check this page out, of course it shows because it's a public page there. All right, so this now means that this page you can use to explore ideas, and you can have real fun with this. You know you're not going to mess around with the main site that you've got set up. You can play around with different ideas, and if you like those ideas, you can implement them into the platform really very easily. So I'll give you an example. I'll generally have a base one, which I'll do, and I'll duplicate it. So you can see I've duplicated it. Then I'll go around here and I'll just play around with different ideas. So maybe I'll put a tint over the top of this, knock it down. I might even choose a different color like this, a red tint, or even a kind of purpley tint there. And say I like that, I might bring the opacity of that up so it's just very light. And then I might say, actually, my text, I want to be here. And maybe I want this to be full width as well. You're not going to see much in here, but it's a full width column now on here. So I could go into settings and maybe I'll make this like 95, which is actually huge. And then I'll go and say, right, I want to change this and make this another kind of color. Not sure that works too well, but it's not bad. And I might want to change the type to a bold. Actually, I don't like that. Let's make it regular again. So you can play around with how it looks. I might also want to put a button in here as well. Let's just go and put a button. I won't link it to anything. I'll just to give you an idea of how it's working. So I'm going to go into the design for the button, just choose a rounded design, go back into the style of the button here, and I'm going to play around with a few things. I'm going to make this white. I'm going to make the text a white. I'm going to bring the font size up to about 55, and I'm going to give this a border thickness of about 6. And I'm going to go down to full width and just make it normal. That's probably a bit too big. Let's go 35. And then I'm going to choose the padding on this. I always feel the padding's too much inside Zenler, so I'll always bring it down. And let's increase this to about 80. Bit of gap either side. So I've created a nice little button there. Let's change the text here. And join us today. Boom. So I created something quite nice there. That looks out of balance. So I need to just bring this up to about 60. All right. And I can play around with different. What I love about this is you can play around with different colors in here. I don't know if you guys have done this, but it's quite good. It's quite a nice way to kind of play around. You can drag the cursor around. Okay, another tip for you. I also want to give it a little bit more spacing at the bottom. So I'm going to spread here. Now I'm spacing this here. Yeah, I could equally as well go into this and space this top to push it down. So you have this minute control over everything you're doing. So if I'm happy with that and I go, this looks really good, then I can preview it. So let me jump into the preview for this. Let's click done to that. Make sure that you do SEO your pages. Let's click preview, save and preview. And now I can see that I've got a brand new block, completely different, built off of the back of this block, but completely different. Now I haven't linked it up or anything. So I would obviously link that to a page. So let's link that to the support page. So if I'm linking this button to the support page, I go into pages, find my support page. I'm going to grab this relative part of the URL. That's anything after the .com, the domain. Reason I do this is especially you guys that are learning the platform and you haven't upgraded to Pro. When you upgrade to Pro or Premium, you're probably going to want a custom domain in here. You're not going to want to use .newzenler.com. You're going to want to put whatever your site is .com. So if you put in the full URL, then you might have problems later with it actually finding that page. So all internal pages, I use what's called relative linking. If you take the whole URL, it's called absolute links, right? It means it goes from the right at the beginning, right the way through to the end. Now, if you use relative links, and you can only do this on sites, on your site that you're working on now, you can't use a relative link to another one of your sites. Okay, before you asked, you can't do a relative link to a Google page or a YouTube page or any of that. It's only the pages you have in your site. So anything from the end of the domain. So the domain in this case is newzenler.com. If it was your site, it would be maybe yoursite.com. So it would be anything after the M of .com, or if it's .co.uk, anything after the K. So that's usually a /. So if you grab the / part, / support in this case, if I was doing the cookie policy, it would be / cookie policy. Then you've grabbed what's called an internal relative URL, internal being this site, right? So grab that, copy it, and we're going to link that to the button. So I'm just going to go into the gear icon, go to the settings inside here, and we're going to go down to action, go to link, and then select, type that link in there, / support. Opening new tab. New tab just means it opens like this. If you want it in the same site, which you usually do, then you wouldn't have that. But if you're going to an external site like Google, YouTube, Facebook, any of those, you probably want to turn on opening new tab. Why? Because you want people to still be on your site. If they're leaving your site and they go and the page gets your site gets replaced by that page, you've lost them from your site. So you want it to open in a new tab so they can close the tab down and still be on your site. Now, this is really good for search engines because they know that visitor's still on your site. So they might be watching a YouTube video for 2 hours long and they'll have your tab still open. So they're still on your site. This is good for SEO and for your rankings. So remember that. External sites always open in a new tab unless there's a specific reason. Okay, so let's click save to that. So now we've done this, we know it's working. I can come in here and refresh this page. So this will now go to the support page so I can test it. So bang, I'm on the support. Cat's inquiry form, that should be changed. So that's how you can do it in there, okay? So you can just put that in there and you have that. So how's this going to help us? So you've got it as a template page. So how's this going to help us? How can I put this into a live site really, really quickly now? Well, we got two methods for you. And I like to cover our free users as well, because, you know, that's what we do here at Zenler. If you look at any of the blocks, you're going to see that you have this little pull-out menu here. This has got a little pull-out menu because anything that's in these blue blocks has a little pull-out menu. Now, this little pull-out menu does a few things. One, it allows you to move things around, and the other one, it allows you to grab the code. If you look down here, this has got its own one. We've got 3 blocks on this page, well, not including the header and the footer. So you can see that's a block there, that's a block there, that's a block. So I've created this new block. So how do I get this into the home page really quickly? So the first method for free users, because you won't have access to what I'm about to show you in a minute, you can click this little brackets here, and you can select all of the text. So you can either do that. I like to just hold the control key, press A. That selects text. And then press control key, hold the control key, press C. Now I've copied it. So what I can do really, really quickly, let's just cancel that, save it, is I can now open up my home page. Let's go to our home page, click the edit button, and within 2 clicks, I can put this in there. So 2 clicks, yeah, roughly. Maybe 3, because I've got to just drop a block in. So if I want to put that block in there now, I can go to blocks. That's 1, 2 clicks, drag this across and open this up. It's got nothing in there at the moment, but I'm opening the tab up, even though it's got nothing in it. I'm going to open that tab up. I'm going to press Control A. I'm going to delete out the content. Now I'm going to press and hold the control and press V. And now I'm going to click save. And now I'm going to save it. It's live. It's live to the point where I saved it is live. So that's an instantaneous live update. So let's have a look at the live page now. So I'm going to go to Zen Pop-Up. I'm going to go into Incognito and we will check it. And bang, there it is. So we can use a template page to try out ideas. We can look at them and view them, and we can copy that code. Now, if you are on the Pro and Premium plan, and this is where I'm just going to close this page off. Let me just delete this block back out and show you the way that you can do it. So let me just save that and delete that out. So another way that you can do it, if you're on the Pro and Premium, is you can select the block and you can click the little save block as template. If I click that, I can call this something like custom home, and then I can click save. Now, because I'm on the Pro and Premium plan, I can save my blocks. So what does this mean? I can close this page down now. I can open up, or I can come back another day and I can go edit and I can go, right, I'm going to add that block. So doing this, setting up these custom save blocks, imagine what you can do with them. If you have Black Fridays, if you have Christmas specials, if you have Halloween specials, if you have Easter specials, and you have a special thing that you're giving away or the way you set up, you could set these up in advance. That way, when you come to, say, the Easter holidays and you've got your Easter CTA, you can go into the page, you can go to blocks, down to custom blocks, and you're going to see your blocks in here. So I might have a Halloween block, I might have an Easter block, and you can drag it just straight in there. You can click save and it's done. You can see I've got other blocks in there as well. So if I wanted to add those other blocks in there, I can just throw those straight in here and the job is done within what, less than 20 seconds. I've now completely updated this. And if I go and check this in incognito or I preview it in here, you're going to see I now have those new blocks in position and ready to go straight away. So a real time-saving technique on how you can work with Zenler. And I love using the template side. I love setting my template up and setting them up. And in fact, what you'll find now, my new way of working is to actually not use any of these pages that are in here. I tend to recreate everything. So like the home page is now not being used. So I'll go into this page and I'll just unpublish it. I don't want that to be found by search engines now. I'm just unpublishing it. And that's a big point. That's another tip for you. If you have pages that you're not using in the site, obviously, if they're legally required, then you have to have them in there. And we are talking an exception to this rule would be the login page, this one here, which you can't delete. And of course, you wouldn't want to unpublish it because then you can't log in. With exception to that, all the other pages can pretty much be unpublished. So you might want to go through, you might want to set up a new privacy terms or cookie policy on your own sheet. If you do that, just make sure that you unpublish those pages that you're not using, because even though you haven't got it linked on your website anywhere, if the page is in there, then search engines will find it, and it could show up in search engine results. And if it shows up in a search engine result and it's a page that's outdated information, the wrong information, you don't want that page showing up. So any pages you're not using, you don't want to use, make sure they're unpublished or even deleted. I tend to unpublish because then if I need to get back to the originals, I can if I want to. And it's no hassle. I can see it's nice big red writing. I know what's published, what's unpublished, and what's published. So that is my tip to you. Using templates can be a really good way to try things out, test these things out and see how they work for you. So they are some really big tips there, and we're going to do some more, but this is the first section of tips. I want to jump in, see if there's any questions, and then we're going to run on to the next part of the tips and hacks for you guys using Zenler. Hi guys, so hopefully those tips and tricks in there will help you. I know there's some questions coming into chat about, oh, you didn't know that PNG sizes were bigger. All you need to remember with lots of these, and there are some new web format file types that are coming out. The only problem with some of the newer file types is they're not actually compatible with some of the browsers or email systems, more importantly. So we're still in this phase of sticking with our standard ones, which is JPEG, GIFs, and PNG files. There's also SVG files. There's a ton of different file formats you don't really need to know about. You only need to look at PNGs and GIFs and JPEGs, really. So what else is that's happening with an image? Like if I was to say to you, an image is 1920 by 1080, it's at 722 resolution, every single image is coming out of that. But why is it when you produce an image out and it's at that exact size, and then you produce another image out and the file size is different in each of the files? Well, it's all to do with how many colors that is using. Even for a JPEG, there will be a different color variation because there's colors in there. Now, if you throw in a PNG file that carries a transparent alpha, so it's RGBA alpha, red, green, blue, A alpha, then obviously it's going to be a bigger file size. And the same goes for colors inside that file as well. So if I jump into this little document here, you can see that I've got a black block. This is 1920 by 1080. All of these images are exactly the same size and resolution. But you can see here, this is 25 kilobytes, it's really small. And if I go to the white block here, you'll see that this is also 25. So pure white is 25 kilobytes and black is 25 kilobytes. This, by the way, this is uncompressed. This is 100% quality. So if I throw in a black and white block, 50-50 each, I get a different file size. Now, it's not a huge amount, it's 27 kilobytes. But let's now go to a full color spectrum. And in fact, it will go up even more. I've given you here red, green, blue, black and white, and you can see this file size difference, 54 kilobytes. So although you guys don't have to think about it that deeply, do remember that file sizes change with the amount of colors or tones that are being used inside that file. There are other factors that are deciding on that. And remember, this is uncompressed. So compressing just will give you a lower quality image, but it will reduce that file size. So it's a balance, exactly the same as videos. You know, like people are asking, oh, you know, I don't want a file size that's huge. I'll use Handbrake and reduce the file size down. Now, whenever you're reducing the file size down of anything, whether it be in any media at all, you are reducing the quality of it. So there's a balance in that between how much you reduce something and keeping that quality. Now, obviously, for someone like a photographer who's producing images, they want to keep their image as sharp as possible, unless they're just showing design scamps or image scamps to people, and then they can keep it lower and watermark it. But when they're producing it out for print, they're not going to want any compression. They're going to want it 100% quality to keep that quality in there, because any compression will make the image lower in quality. And I've seen people compress images, open it back up, compress it, and you end up with a horrible image because they've compressed it several times in different processes. So try and keep the quality as good as possible, but bear in mind that file size can be affected by the color range, how many channels it's got, and of course your compression rate. So these are the things, and this is common to video as well, which is just moving images. So with that said, I'm going to move on to tips and hacks part 2. So I'm hoping, because we've only got, well, it's quarter of an hour roughly before we're supposed to finish at 6. So I'm hoping that the Zoom doesn't cut off or the stream doesn't cut off inside Facebook. Hopefully it will be okay. If not, on the replay in YouTube, you can find that part. I'll add it to the end of the video, okay, with a few other bits. So let's hope it all works okay. And I'll come back to you after this. This again is about 45 minutes long and it's full of tips and tricks. I really want to leave this in there for you guys to see all the tricks and hacks that you can do. Okay, guys. Okay, guys, now I want to talk about how you could get a nice image of yourself to put on some of your course cards, or maybe for a video course card or those sort of things. So what I've got in front of you now is a Zoom window. So I've just opened up my Zoom app and I'm just going to start a meeting, and then I'm just going to pose for a shot, and I'm going to actually grab that using a snippet tool inside of Windows. So if you type into your little search bar in the bottom of your Windows, and this is just for Windows, if you can screen grab from your Mac, then you'll have to just find out how to do that. I think there's screen grabbing utilities in there. But if you just type in snipping tool into the search menu, then you're going to get this little box come up here. So this can be really handy. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a screen grab of me sort of pointing at something, and then I'm going to cut myself out from the green screen. Now I have got a green screen behind me, so it's make sure that you've got a nice plain background behind you, because snipping out will be really easy then. But I'm just going to start a meeting. So I'm just starting a meeting. I'm not having anyone in it, and we shall see. So I've got my Zoom meeting up here. I'm just going to switch the, I'm going to mute myself here, and I'm going to switch the video on. So there I am there. Now I'm on a screen, so I'm just going to my settings, and I'm just going to turn off the background for this. Now you could put yourself straight in the background, but I'm going to click none. So you've got your nice green screen going in behind you. You can see a little bit of my desk on the corner. That's fine. And I can now just close that down. So I'm on the green screen now, and I'm just going to point and kind of do a grab of this screen. Now you could also record it and grab out of that, but I'm going to just put a time delay of this of about 5 seconds, and then it'll give me a chance to pose. So I'm going to do the grab now, and what's going to happen is, if I haven't closed it down, is it's going to start up, and I'm going to click across here, hold on, let me just cancel that, just get in position. So I'm going to click this when I've in position here. So we're going to click new. Okay, so you can see it's grabbed me now. So I'm now going to grab this green screen out of here, just pose it the way you like. And we've got that. So I'm just pointing to something. So I'm now going to drag this box. Notice you can drag this box. I'm not worrying about the corner of that because I can edit it out. And I'm just going to let go. So now I've got this green screen view of me pointing by using Zoom. So now I don't need Zoom anymore. I'm going to turn that off and end meeting for all. And I'll just show you, so just a little trick. And then I'm going to save this on my desktop. So I'm going to save this and we're going to call it me greened. Okay, and I'm going to save that on my desktop and click save. All right, so now I've got that. I'm going to now jump in and show you how we can green screen this image out. All right, so we have our image now snipped out and I save that on my desktop. I'm now going to go to a program called pixlr.com and I'm going to go into the advanced photo editor and I'm going to just close that off and I'm going to create new. Well, I'm actually going to open an image. So let's just open an image. I'm going to find that it's on my desktop. There it is there. And I'm going to click open. So here is our image here. I'm going to click agree and proceed. And I have my image all nicely cut out. So let's go and change this. So what I can do is I can actually remove the background of this image and I can resize it as well. And by doing that, I'm going to be able to easily put this into like a Canva slide or something. So this is just a little tip for you that can really help you. So I got page background there. I've got to find out where it is. Adjustments, here we go. So we can go into Magic Wand here and we can just click anywhere in the image like so. And you're going to see that it starts to select. And if we add to this selection by clicking here, you can add to this selection, but you got to watch it doesn't do too much. Control Z. So we can actually set a tolerance down on this to something like 16, which works quite well. Then click add, and then it should just start to cut this out. So you can see I'm starting to cut this background out here. And now it's a nice clean cut on here. I can actually get rid of this background. So if I hit the backspace a couple of times, press Control D, it's now cut me out nicely on the image. So this is a really good way to just cut yourself out, to put yourself into any kind of footage. and it's quite effective inside here. So we can also adjust any of the layers. You could adjust the curves, the brightness, these sort of things. And that's really powerful as well. And inside the filter, I'm just going to have a look, see if there's anything else I can find. Don't want to use that. I'm going to increase this tolerance a little bit more in here. And I'm going to add a little bit of feather. Now, feather just softens the edge. I'm going to do that by 2. So I'm going to reselect in here, and I'm going to press the backspace a couple of times, and it will actually feather the edges. So Control D to check it out again. Let's just feather it a bit more. I'm going to bring this up. In fact, what I'll do is I'll bring it right up, then you can see the effect. So let's click it now, and you can see it's actually really breaking up. It's cutting into the image. So I don't want to go that high. I probably want to go down to about 33 and then reselect. So Control D to deselect, and let's click that again. Just hit it once, and you'll notice that it's getting rid of that horrible green on the edge. That's a little bit too much inside there. So I'm going to press the Control Z again a couple of times and set this a bit lower. Control D to deselect. Hit it one more time, and that looks fairly decent. Okay, so what I want to do now is just get rid of this desk in the corner. So I'm just going to use the magic wand, the magic lasso here, and I'm just going to click around this, and then I'm going to hit delete. So now I've deleted it out. So now I've got myself in here. Now there's a little bit of green in here as well. So I think I'm going to just try and get rid of that and deselect and just check it over. And what we can do is we can add a new empty layer in here, and I can lay in something like a fill. I'm going to choose the white. I'm going to drop that in there, and I'm going to drag this below this layer. So now you can see this is the cutout. It's not brilliant, but I am nicely cut out of this image. Now, if you want to, you can press the Control Z and you can go back on yourself a few steps. In fact, this is what I should have done. So I'm going to go back, Control D to go back. And I want to put the green back in. Now I'm used to using Photoshop, so I'm a little bit rusty on using this application, but we'll get there. Okay, let's drop in an empty layer again. Let's throw in Control D. Let's throw in our fill. Let's bring that down below. So I'm not happy with that. So I'm actually going to open the image again. Let's throw our image in there. And I'm straight away going to add an empty layer inside here and drop that white in. I'm going to drag it below. This means that I can actually see it whilst I'm doing things. So now I'm going to go in here and I'm actually going to change the adjustments a little bit. So I'm going to go into levels, and I want to just change this. It's going to brighten things up a little bit inside here and just make things pop a little bit more. Okay. I'm going to click apply to that. I can probably desaturate a little bit as well. Oop, not that much. Hue and saturation, just saturate it down very slightly. That looks good. Just unlocked that layer there. And let's do this again. Let's hit the magic wand. I'm going to put this tolerance on. I'm going to bring it down. I'm actually going to bring it 16, works really well. So I'm going to click that for 16. I'm going to add to this selection. So this means that it's sampling less colors. So it takes a little bit longer, but it's much, much better Okay, let's try that area. Down there. I don't care about that edge area. That's a little bit in there. That looks good. So now I'm going to hit the delete backspace. I'm going to hit the backspace a couple of times here. Notice my feather is on 16 as well. Control D. And that looks better. It's a bit blurred on there, but you know what, I can live with that. So I'm going to use the magic wand here, or the lasso tool, and just delete that area out. And I'm going to say that's good. Control D to deselect. Now I'm going to turn this layer off, and I want to export this out as a PNG file. So I'm going to go to File, I'm going to go to Export, and I'm going to go Quick Export Page as PNG. Now, why am I saving this as a PNG? Because I want to keep the background alpha. You know, I want to keep that already. So I'm going to export this as PNG, and I'm going to put it in my downloads folder, and I'm going to click Save. Then we're going to jump into our Canva account, and I'm going to create a little course card to put in there. So using Canva. So this is a way you can quickly snip yourself out. Now, I did a video last time on cutting you out, so there are other methods that you can use. If you have the Pro Canva account, you can just use the remove background in Canva Pro, which is a lifesaver. So I'm going to go into our base template that we use. I'm going to duplicate this top one, and then I'm going to just remove this stuff from here. I won't remove it all because I'm going to keep some of it. So I've removed all as much as I want to. I'm going to go to upload, and I'm going to upload the file. So if you check inside our downloads folder, you'll have this new green screened one. I'm going to click open, and inside here, it's going to open. Now I'm going to put text in here because remember, I'm using it for maybe a video or a course card. Remember those dimensions we're working with, 1920 by 1080. Once this is uploaded, which it has now, I can drop myself into here. And now I have myself perfectly cut out, and I'm going to point at something. So I'm going to actually put a little bit of an overlay in here. I might grab this one. By the way, guys, if you go in and grab this, you can copy it. And if you then go to this slide and press Control V, it will paste it in exactly the same position, which is really handy. So let's put that there. I also want myself in front of this red. So I'm going to right-hand click, and I'm going to go send backwards, and it will put me behind it. Do you notice I'm behind it now? So you can send it backwards. So now I'm going to go into the text, and I'm going to put some text in here. So learn hacks and tips for, and then we'll just choose a typeface and a color. I'm going to go to extra bold, and we'll bring the size down a little bit here. So you've probably seen things like this before where people are pointing to stuff, and it looks really cool. So that's what we're doing. And I'm also going to upload a Zenler logo. Now I've already got a Zenler logo. So I'm going to press the Alt key and drag down. And I'm going to go with, and I'm going to change this to something cooler. One of my kind of, oops. You can't choose all of those typefaces because we're on the free account. So let's choose one of them. Let's make it a bit bigger. Another little tip for you, you can go in here and you can change things as you're working. So that looks nice. And I'm going to shift click both of these so I can move it up. And then I want to just upload a logo. I have a Zenler logo here, which I'm going to drop in. And we'll just resize that down, put that in there, something like that. You know. Oops. I don't want to get too wrapped up, but this is just to give you an idea. So that's how we can sort of cut ourselves out. Now, as I said before, you have that ability inside Zenler, inside of Canvas, if you've got a pro account, to just remove yourself from the background, which can save a lot of time. But now we created this kind of course card. This is 1920 by 1080. I'm just going to download it. So I'm going to go to download. I'm going to choose the file type as JPEG. I'm going to go into not do all pages, but just do this current page here and click done. So now this will download into the download folder. I can use this for things like course cards. So we're going to jump into the Zen pop-up now, and I'm going to place this in here, and you're going to see how it will work for you. Plus, I'm going to upload a little video, and then you can actually see that the video will, we can actually change it for this part of it as well. So let's go straight into our Zen pop-up and jump in there and just show you it for a course. So I'm going to jump into the admin section. I'm going to quickly set up a course, and we'll just put that in there. So this can save you a lot of time. Again, it's reusing content. So this same base template could be used for social media as well, because you're reusing it. So of course, you're doing it for Instagram. You could do a square version, and then you could just copy those bits straight over into that as well. So let's go in a course and just create a quick course. So I'm going to just create a quick course in here. We'll just call it sample. And I'm just going to click create course and just show you how we can upload that as a course card. So I'm going to go to the course details here, and I'm going to change this inside here. So I have that template we set up. I'm going to click open. I'm not going to crop and say you have to crop it, but watch this. This is the crop size. You can't change this size in here. You can't make it longer or shorter. It's got to be this size. But look at this 19 by 20 size. If I drag it, it's exactly the right size. And this is why I said 1920 by 1080 is so important. So now we have this lovely little course card on here. If I publish this course, then we should be able to see that on one of the pages. Let me just go to site and go into the original page, which has got the course block in it, so you can see. And you'll see inside here now that we have this lovely graphic that's in here created from Canva. So really cool way of using that. So I also want to take a video and put that in there and show you how that's working as well. So I'm going to upload a video now into the media library for us to use as a test. So I don't know if I've got a video already in here. I don't think so. Let me just check filter by video type on here. Nope, I haven't got a video. So I'm just going to upload something. I've got a few videos in here that I can just upload. So let me just take one of these little ones, very small file. It's Mammoth for the speakers for the summit. So we can use that. So I'm just going to upload that. It's going to take a little bit of time to process, but then I'm going to show you how you can change the video thumbnail for it and how you can also select from the videos themselves. So this is more like, this is what you can do with Zenler as opposed to a tip. Main tip from here is that you can create your own video course cards. And I wanted to show you exactly how that dimension size of 1920 by 1080 can really help you not having to think about all these different sizes that we give you. We say, oh, it should be that size, this size, that size. But if you can find a one size fits all, it's going to save you a lot of trouble. The other thing I want to show you as well is that if you've got a really low quality image, what that's going to do or how that's going to affect you when you're working with this. So I'm going to create a new Canva. Whilst that's all processing in here, I'm going to create a new Canva template, and I want to do it really small. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a custom size, and I'm going to do this sort of 200 width. Actually, let's leave it 200, and let's do this at about 150. Okay, so really small. It's about that small. So I'm going to create this design, and it's going to go up on here. Now, when you're looking at Canva is showing you a size that isn't actually real to reality, because it's actually, if you look down the bottom, the zoom on this is 451%. Now, although you might look at this and it be really sharp, like if I grab one of these images inside here, let me go to photos. Let me type, because we love dogs, don't we, here at Zenler, and cats, all animals, but dogs are my favorites. So I'm going to grab this little dog and we'll just put him in here. And you're going to see, look, it's really sharp. And that's what Canva does. And this can be a little bit annoying because the actual size of this is actually, if we put it to 100% here, that's the actual size. So even though you're looking at it like this and you think, oh, that's really sharp, the actual size of that image when it's output is this size. This is confusing to people because they see it and they go, well, that looks really sharp. And I zoomed in, it looks really sharp. But this is the size of the image. So imagine that size image. So if you're using it as a background image or a larger image inside your site, what's going to happen? It's going to be really, really big. And if it's really, really big, what does that mean to the image? Well, what that means is that it will be really blurred and what we call pixelated. You'll see each individual dots. And that's what you don't see inside Canva. So if I output this now and I click in here and I go download, and I'm going to download it as a JPEG and leave everything the same. Notice the size 200 by 150, and we're going to click download. Then you're going to see this when I start to put it in the site. So let me jump across here. This is still processing, so give me a chance to show you. So this is to show you how this all kind of works. So I'm going to close this Canva template down just so that I can get things a bit cleaner here. And we're going to go and I'm going to right hand click open the tab. Now, this is another tip for you. Tons of tips in here. You need to watch this video right the way through because like things like right hand clicking open link means that I haven't lost this page. I can just jump to this page now. So these are tips that are really going to help you. So let's now go to the page. Let's go to our handy dandy template. And let's go to our edit button for there, which is a little pencil icon. So when this page loads, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that really small image and I'm going to make it as a background image. And you're going to see how bad it looks and why you should be working with the 1920 by 1080. So let's go and create a new block, same as we've done before, guys. So I'm going to go in here. We'll chuck a bit of this content across into this block. So I need to create a row first. So let's chuck a row in there and let's just throw this across into here. And let's grab a bit more, just so there's a bit more stuff going on. So let me put that into there as well. Okay, so let's go in and drop that in as background image. So I've hit the gear icon on the blue box and I'm going to go in here. I'm going to upload. So I'm going to go and upload that image, which I have there. Now look at the size of it. Even if I drag this, it's not getting any bigger, unlike this one that is. Hold on. Yeah, so that is the actual size of it. So let's click open. It's going to ask us to crop. It's already looking blurred. We're going to go upload without crop. And inside here now, you have a really blurry image. And the amount of times that I have seen people's page with the blurry image is almost obscene. There's so many times people have done this. Now, let me just show you quickly how we could do this. So I'm going to go into Canva. I'm going to use that base template. You're already going to know what's happening here, guys, because, you know, we've done it before. So this time I'm going to take this image, but I'm going to do it in the proper size. So let's go to our base template here and go and duplicate this out. And I'm going to go and just get rid of all the background. I'm going to get rid of me as well, everything. And everything that's in this one, I'm going to get rid of. So that's good. So now I'm going to go to photos. I'm going to put dogs in again. I still have my dog there. So I'm going to grab that dog and I'm just going to put him into a background image there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to download him again. So I'm going to go to download. I'm going to go to JPEG. I'm going to leave the quality the same. I'm going to hit download. And now that will be downloading down there in a second. It's actually zipped it because I've downloaded them all. So sorry about that, guys. Just going to go and download it again. And unlock that one out there and click done download. Okay, so that will download on its own now instead of a zip file. So let's go in there now and swap this out for the new one. So let's go and duplicate this one so you can see the difference. And let's go into here and let's upload the good one now. So we're going to go in here, we're going to go upload image, and you're going to see this one in here. So this is now the new one, exactly the same as that, but the size is different. Let's click open. Let's click upload without crop. Let's look at the two differences between them. So look, we have something that is really sharp now, as opposed to something that is not. Okay, so you can see the difference between them. So if you guys are getting that kind of pixelation blurred out, the only reason is nothing to do with Zenler. It's to do with the size of the image that you're outputting. Now, on that note, you don't want to use massive images if you are putting them into a page. So when I mean putting them into a page like this, if I go to images, I'm grabbing the low one. Notice the size 200 by 150. I'm going to click that, and that's my image. If that's my image size, I am happy with that. That's great. So all my images I'll output 200 by 150. It's fine. I don't want to go in, and I'm going to add the new one now. So I'm going to go to image. I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be putting this massive size image in here and doing something like this. Okay. Why? It is sharper there. I probably could do with bringing this down a bit more so it becomes sharper. But this is a fraction of the size of this. And if we go into our folder and have a look at it, this is the size of my image that's 1920 by 1080. It is 279 kilobytes, which is actually still a fairly small file. But if I had 30 of them in there, my page would slow down, especially if they only had to be at a size of 200 by 150. So look at the size of this. This is 279. Let's look at this size, 11.9. So that's like 20 of those put in there. 20 images for the same size as that one image. So when you guys are saying my page load's really slow, check your images and that you're not overusing massively large size images. Now, if I output this file as a PNG file, it would be probably 5 times the size of the large size. So it will be even more stuff to load. So the only people that are waiting around on your site are probably people with super fast broadband. But you don't want them waiting around. You want them to go on there quickly. So this thing about image sizes is really important. And what I do suggest is that you use that template page and you check the sizes. So you go, well, actually, do you know what? I want them all that size. That's the size. So you just test the sizes by doing some different Canva templates until you get the size for normal page images that you want. Then use that as a template. Then you haven't got to worry about resizing or anything else. You haven't got to grab a picture from Pixabay and go, oh, is that right? Is that wrong size? I've got to resize it down. You can just drag it straight into Canva, output it. It's done. The other thing about using a Canva template that's really, really useful is that it's consistent. So if you've got a row of images and they're all supposed to line up with each other on a page, because you're using the same Canva template, it's going to be exactly the same size. Now, of course, you could do it manually. You could go into an editing program and set the width and the height, and you could change all those things. Of course you could. But we're looking at speed saving techniques to make your life easier. And this is a big one. So image sizes and overuse of embedding videos inside of your pages will result in a slower load time. Fact. Other contributing factors, scripts. If you have lots of JavaScripts or tracking links, anything that you put into any of the page setting headings in here, so CSS includes, if you have any loads of CSS in there, it can slow it down. And of course, any tracking code that we've got in here, such as JavaScript, any code in general embedded into the body text, footer text, again, can slow load time down. Now, I know this is a big question that's been asked on the group all the time. There are different contributing factors, but main factors for speed load times is oversized images, produced out in the wrong format, to make them a bloated file where you're actually importing using PNG files, where you have no intention of using a transparent background. There's no point in using those PNG files in those areas. Maybe another reason would be animated GIFs that you might have in there. That's animated GIFs. They are huge. They can get huge in size. Overuse of images within the page itself, overuse of video in the pages themselves can all lead to a bloated page, which takes a lot longer to load. These are the first things that you should look at. These are the things that I look at as a website developer when I'm asked to optimize a page speed time, load time. I will look at the images, I will check all the sizes, I will check any scripts that are running on, I will optimize everything, put it in there, and gain probably about 60 to 70% more speed on the load time just by looking at those. And in my career of doing this, I've found that that is the most common problem, not all, but that's the most common problems to 95% of websites, and it will help you guys. So bear that in mind. Use the templates in Canva, play around with different sizes, have a template page where you can play about with it. You know, you can still, if it's not attached to the menu, you could publish that page and run it through a ping tester like Pingdom, see the load time on that while testing all these pages out. And then when you're finished, unpublish that page and no one will see it. It will be fine. So let's go back to this. Hopefully it will have loaded by now. And I can just show you how I can use that Canva template. There it is there. So I've got my, I've got Mammy in there, and I'm going to go to edit this now. So I'm going to click on the edit button. Now, this is the frame that it's captured for the video. So if I showed this inside of any of my lessons or I embedded it into the site, this is the frame that would be picked. However, we can change this thumbnail. You can also tag this video. So I could put man meat in here, or I could put summit, and it would tag it. Click update. So, and click update. So now that video will be tagged. This is just another little extra bit of information. You'll see that there's now a tag. And if you tag your media, I'm just digressing a little bit, but you can tag all your media. So anything you're doing, you can tag this with different tags. So day with Zenler, enter, update. And this makes it really easy to find media. So if you've got thousands of bits of media, I can find a tag really easy. So I can select the tag Summit, and anything that's tagged with Summit comes up. Another little tip for you. So let's now go and change the video thumbnail. Let's go to edit. Let's go in here. Let's update the thumbnail. Now, there's a few ways we can do this. We can jump straight into Canva and do it. But as I've already got my Canva template, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to upload my own custom thumbnail. Now, the other thing you can do is select a frame. So if you like, you can go through the video. You can play the video here. And I could say, select that as current frame, and bang, across here, Tracy, who's on there, will be the current frame. So again, wherever this is showing in your site, this will be the first frame. But let's update our one with our Canva. So I'm going to upload the custom thumbnail. I'm going to go into where we have that thumbnail, which is that one there. I'm going to click open, and it is 1920 by 1080, the same as the video. So bang, it looks perfect. So see how powerful Canva is if you have these templates set up. There's just the one size I'm talking about, 1920 by 1080. Use it for background images. You can use it carefully for page images inside the site. It will work for course cards, as I've shown you. It will also work for things like marketing funnels as well in there. So you can use that because it uses the same page builder. So these tips can really, really help you moving forwards with doing your work. So let's now quickly just have a look at some of the things that you should be doing in the site, and you probably are not. One thing that you definitely need to do is you need to go through and you need to check all of the pages are branded in your style. So if you have any pages published in your site, and this is something people don't do, kind of drives me a bit batty, but like the unsubscribe and the subscribe mail, this is the classic. every single published page, you need to go into edit and you need to go and style it with your brand. Now, I've shown you how easy it is to copy blocks across from the template page or even save blocks if you're on Pro and Premium membership. So you've got no excuse for not putting or branding those pages with those blocks that you've created. But the classic case of people using Zenler is they do not go through all of their pages. And a classic example would be the subscribe mail. If I go in and I view this page, you will see by default we have our Zenler logo in there. You need to edit that page and put your own logo in there. The same applies for the unsubscribed mail. So the subscribe mail and the subscribe mail. You might even want to change the text in there. These are things you need to look at. Go through the terms and conditions and make sure they meet your terms and conditions and the cookie policy. Make sure the reference is not to Zenler, but to you yourself. You need to go through the cookie policy, the terms and conditions, and the privacy policy. You need to go through all of that stuff. Check all the pages. As I've already told you, it's really easy to go into these pages, such as things like subscribe mail. We'll click that open quickly, and to put your own logo in there. So I'm just closing these down quickly whilst this loads so I can show you. So I'm now in the subscribe mail, and inside here, you definitely want to delete that logo out, Zenler logo. This is your site. You can then go in and grab some of your blocks that you've created. So maybe you've created a block in here and you can go and put that in there. So now the subscribe mail is your own identity in there. And you've also got any sort of CTAs. So you might want to put a CTA in there. You definitely want to go and make sure every page has got SEO in there. If you want to know more about SEO, go to tutorials.newzenler.com and do the basic marketing course. All of your SEO information is in there, including setting up Google Analytics and the Search Console. You need to go in there and learn this stuff, and you need to SEO all of your pages, which brings me on to the SEO part. You need to make sure that all published pages, any funnel pages, live pages, anything you do is SEO'd. You need to do that and put that into practice on every time that you create a new page or you edit a page. These are things that you have to do, that you need to do, and you will get better results long term. I guarantee it. Okay, so that brings me on to what was the next thing I was going to talk about with you. To make sure that you've gone through all the pages. Okay, the next one, and this is the big one. You need to make sure system emails and your automation emails are branded the way you like. Now, a lot of people forget this. This is another number one big forget for people. The system does work without you changing anything. It will send out a default general email, welcome email, when people register for your site or sign up for your course. But you want to take control of every aspect of your business. So you should be testing your site. You should be adding yourself as a user and testing that the emails and automations go out. We've got lots of videos on testing as a student. Go to our YouTube channel, type in testing as a student, and you'll get the results come up there to learn how to test as a student properly. Okay, so big one. Go to site, go to your notification status. If you have put automations in any of your courses, you want to turn off enable welcome emails, because otherwise what will happen is the automations that you've got coming out from a course will go out, but also the system email automations for enrolling the course will also go out. So they're going to get two lots of emails, which is going to annoy anybody. So you want to make sure if you've got automations in any of your courses set up, you want to turn this off, and you want to make sure that you're doing automations for all of the courses from that point forwards. Right now, if you don't want to set up automation in the courses and you just want to leave it to the system emails, that's absolutely fine. But you need to make that decision. So to change what goes out inside the system emails, you need to go to language and you need to go down to system emails. Now in here, you're going to have a huge list. Well, it's not huge, but it's fairly big. And these are different emails go out based on certain things. So for a course, for instance, if it's a free plan, this email will go out. If it's a subscription plan, this email will go out. If it's a paid plan, this one will go out. This is the welcome email. So this is the one that comes out when someone registers for your site. If someone hits the reset password inside their mail, this is the page they will go to, and this is the email they will receive. If you change their user role from, say, student or lead to student or any of those, this is the email that will go out. So they're all pretty self-explanatory in here. But what I'm saying to you is that you need to go into each of these emails, just simply click it, go down here and just alter this the way you'd like it. So for instance, what I like to do is I like to go into here and I like to put in the, I like to put in my logo. So if I'm going into there, I'll go to image and I'll choose my Zenler logo if I've got it in here, which I haven't. So then I'll upload my logo in here. I've got this, hold on. Let me just go to where it is. Okay, let's go to Zenler logos. All right, so I have logos in here. These, by the way, guys, these are not exactly the right size. So I would make sure they are the right size, but let's just choose that one. So I've got my logo. I wouldn't be doing this. I make sure it's the right size. So sorry about this, but I'm going to just drag this down, make it smaller. So I'd be making sure that this logo size is about sort of 400 by 400 or 400 by 90 or something. And that would be about the right size. Again, you can test all this in your Canva template. So straight away, I've customized this to make it look better. Sometimes it might add a little bit of an extra gap. A little tip is to put a load of C's there, and then go into this and then just go, oh, okay, that's it. So anything that P, and then click, and then it will be nicely tied up. But you might want to reword this word differently. Make sure you leave all these tags in there. It will tell you down the bottom what you need to put in there. You need to put the student's email. It's mandatory fields, otherwise it won't save. But now I've saved that. Whenever someone gets this email for signing up, they will get my logo in here. Of course, you can personalize it as you want. You can change the colors. So personalize all of these emails that you have inside here. This is something that pretty much everybody misses and doesn't do. So you need to go and check those. I know it's a pain, but you've only got to do it once. You know, this is your business. So it's your brand. You need to make sure this stuff is in there. So that is my other tip for you about system emails. So make that decision. System emails, I use automations with it. If you uncheck the automations, the insight notifications, if you turn this off, please remember that some of those emails from the system will still go out, so it's password reset. So you do need to go through them. So I just go through them all, even if I'm not using some of the emails. I just go through every single one to make sure it's covered. And then when I'm doing my courses and my automations for a course, I'll then just make sure that they're following that format as well. So there's our automations within our courses. So hopefully these top hacks and tips are really going to help you guys out. I'm going to check now for any questions that come in, because there's probably going to be a few. So I thought I'd try and cover some new sort of tips. I know I've talked about Canva before and those sort of things, but I really want to drill it down, because still I see a lot of mistakes on sites. So I'm trying to pull out just the really massive ones that people have problems with all the time. So hopefully you've loved that tips and hacks part 2 today. And so let me know any questions, drop them in the chat, just have a talk about them now. Hi guys, why I was actually doing the clipping out of the background, I actually found a really good website. I just Googled like free background removers. And this one came up that was quite good. It's called phococlipping.com. So there are some limitations, but I think it'll be really good for a lot of you guys. So I thought I would include it. So if we click upload image, I'm going to go and upload our green screen image that we've got. And I'm going to click open to that. And I'm going to start the process. And what happens is that it will actually give you a preview of before and after, and it will identify the background in the image if it is, of course, a plain image background. So it does a really good job here. If you look on the right hand side, it's kind of identifying the bits that are green screen, basically. It's going to remove them, and it does a really good job. You can see here it's really clean. So I like this. The only limitation you've got here is that you can download this free size that gives you a size of 590 by 422, which should be okay for most applications, but you actually have to buy, I think, this one here. I think they're going to charge you. If I click this, then I think that it would charge you. Oh, maybe it's free. Oh, it is free. So obviously we want to save as a PNG file, not as a JPEG, otherwise you won't keep the background. But if I click the download here, then we'll see what happens, whether it does actually download it. It is, oh no, it's asking us to sign in for a free account. So I think you can sign in for a free account and it'll allow you to do that. Or if you're happy, you should just be able to download this one here, and hopefully it shouldn't ask us to log in. So it's a PNG again. I'm going to click the download and we'll see if it's downloaded. So I haven't got to log in for that one. But if you do the HD version, I think you need an account. So it's telling you you've got one more clipping that you can do. But now it's given us this result. So if I look in the folder here, then it should give us this green screened one here, which I think will probably be big enough for a lot of you. But if you need the HD version, you can select it in there as well. But photo clipping looks quite good, actually. And that's one that you might want to use. Again, you might want to just Google free background removers and you'll have a list of them and choose the one that you like. But that's basically the principle. Remember, if you get the option of PNG or JPEG, make sure that you do select PNG. Otherwise, you will not keep the background transparent. It will be on a white background or whatever background you've put in. All right, guys, so hopefully you love those tips and tricks. I want to say a big shout out to Gaida, if I pronounced it correctly, and Hannah Lee, because you have been magnificent today with your questions. And obviously, you realise there's a few bits that you need to do, and you've picked up some good tips there. So real big shout out to you guys for actually commenting. We love it when people are commenting. It makes our job feel a little bit more interactive, because it can be quite a lonely place actually when you're doing lives in front of a camera and you've got no one there. So it's really nice to have that interaction with you. So big thank you for that. Okay, so we're nearly ready to wrap up. I just want to throw in a few things. We are well past 6 o'clock now, so we are heading towards the 4-hour mark. And I want to just bring up something that we're going to do. Now, I did a post beginning of the week asking people if they wanted to kind of level up with what they're doing. They actually wanted to take their everything to do with their course creation just another step higher. You know, this thing where as course creators, we never stay stagnant. We're always looking for new opportunities. We're always looking to be more professional and all of these things. And a lot of you might be in a situation where you're just settling for what you've got and it works and you're making money, but you can always improve. And maybe you just don't want to invest the time or the money in getting to that extra level. So but I asked the question, you know, do you want to sort of level up? This is not just with the quality of the stuff that you're producing, but it's also stuff to do with your course itself, like little tweaks you can do with your course, all ways to level up. You can take it as extreme as you like. I tend to go overboard with all this stuff, and I love gizmos and using new technology anyway. So for me, it's just fun, you know. So I thought this would be a really nice way to share with you and take it through each of the stage. Now, we are very much concentrated on the live aspect of Zenler at the moment. And with that in mind, I want to improve things like your presentation skills. I want to actually improve your image on screen and how to set up lovely Zoom backgrounds and these sort of things, and animated Zoom backgrounds, and do things like I'm doing today. So we're going to do, and watch this, leveling up. So leveling up, staying ahead of the competition and becoming more professional. This is what it's all about. So it's not going to be hard. You don't need any technical skills, but you can produce things like this. Yeah, things like this. You can produce it. You can get lovely shots, sort of semi-professional photography just from your webcams. Now, the camera you're looking at me now is quite an expensive camera. It's actually a DSLR camera. But for the actual show, I'm going to be showing it on a Brio, and I'm also going to show it on a 920 as well. I'm going to show you the difference in what happens with default microphones that are built into some systems, and you're actually going to have a comparison against the two. So all these things are going to help. Then we're going to go straight into the course section, which is like, how do I make my lives better? How do I get a better experience for my students coming in, or for my paid lives members that are maybe coming to a summit and all these things? How can I make that experience better for them? And I have quite a few crafty things that you can do in the system that you might not have thought of. I've picked a lot of stuff up from you guys that I've seen stuff that you're doing, and I thought that's a really good idea. So the thing with all this stuff is, when you have an idea, when you see someone doing something, you're like, how do I do that? You know, it's like, if you see any of the stuff we're doing, I was asked today, I think it was by Hanale or Gida, was like, what do you use for the green screen at the background? So I just put a link in there to a pull-up one. So those kind of things are magic, because then, you know, you've got someone using it, you know it works, you want to get to that level, so that can really help you. So brilliant. So I got Hannah Lay, and she's saying, thank you, David. And Team Zenler, lifelong Zen learning. Yes, you are our Zenlerese. I have a Brio HD and love it. Yeah, Brios are really good, but you can up the game on that. And also with the Brio, did you know there's a lot of things you can adjust with the Brio that I bet you didn't know about, that will actually lock things in? I'm going to show you exactly what's going on. This is some of the stuff that I teach. I teach the team. So I'm taking like Mammy, Liz, Alice, and the team through some of these things where they can improve on what they're doing. So I'm sharing this knowledge. So I thought, well, let's just share it with you. Let's share it with our lovely community, and let's do it straight into the Facebook group. So this will be set up as a live event, okay? And it will be called Leveling Up. We'll announce it in probably office hours. That's where we tend to do our big announcements. And I'll also be coming on and telling you. So you can go in there, make sure you're on there. It'll be straight into the Facebook group. If I've got any downloads and things to give you, they will be shared directly inside of here, a bit like a day with Zenler. But yeah, so Gid is saying, definitely have not used any of the settings. I think you'll be quite amazed. And I'll tell you why you should take control of your camera. At the moment, the camera is taking control of you, right? And that will be really evident later. And I'll explain exactly why, with lighting setup and all these things, and problematic areas. Like, you know, not everyone's got a studio, not everyone can control the light situation, but you can do things to control it. You can take control of that. And it's like everything that you're doing in Zenler, you can take control of it all. So we will be doing the leveling up. I asked people to put 200 likes into that particular post. I think it got up to 155, and then there was 40 something comments. So I added them together and said, oh, you know what, that's close enough. That's a lot of engagement for just a post going in there. So we're going to do that, guys. Find the post. It's in the featured posts, Hannah and Gita, add to it, because all those people who are in there, I'm going to tag them when I do this event. So you're going to be tagged in there as well. So that's going to be good. And now my last thing I want to do before I go is to announce to you something very, very special. And here it is. Watch this. So we have Clash of the Creators. It's like gladiators. I don't know if you guys know, like in the UK, we had gladiators when everyone battled. This is the same thing. So this is Clash of the Creators. So there can only be one, bit like the Highlander. There can only be one winner, and there will be a form. Now, this is coming soon. We're just putting the rules in place. We're going to be calling out to all of our Zenler course creators, so our Zenler users that are actually helping members in the group to create their sites. Now, what is special about this is there's going to be a prize. It's going to be a prize you'll want to get. So anybody that is worth their salt in creating sites for Zenler users is going to want to be in this competition. And what it's going to mean for you guys is you can see these creators working. These are unofficial Zenler creators that are on and in this group. And there's a lot of them. and they'll want to come in here and they'll want to show how good they are. So we're going to do a competition. It's going to be exactly equal for all of the creators. They're going to be timed. There's going to be certain things that we require them to do. And if they can do it, it's going to be recorded. Each of those creators, we're going to be with them and we're going to record them working through it. So there's no cheating. They're working exactly the same way. Once we have all our recordings, we're then going to do a big live stream, a bit like a day with Zenler. And we're going to show those creators. We'll speed it all up. You're going to be able to look at their sites. They're also going to be able to comment on their ideas behind why they created that site and that course and other features they put in. And it's all going to be in or using Zenler, nothing else, just Zenler. That's all we want to concentrate. And we want to see what they give us. And we're going to be judging it. We're going to take some of the marks. The team here at Zenler are going to actually judge some of it. And the rest of the judging will be up to you guys. There will be a poll on there, and you can go and vote for those course creators that have attended. So there's going to be a big announcements about this. You really want to watch the people that actually attend this, because you know if they attend it, that they're worth their salt, because they're going to be working quickly and doing this stuff in there. Now, this does not mean, I mean, it is a time thing. So come on. When you're working on a site, you don't want to be rushed into doing these things, but they're going to do the best job they can in the time that they've got. Yeah. So I am going to be super excited about this one. And yeah, Hannah, it's going to be so much fun, because we all, I mean, pretty much everybody on Zenler, all of you members are all exciting characters. You know, it's always good fun dealing with you, and especially course creators. They're just crazy. I mean, I know, because I'm one. So, so it's going to be great fun to do. I can't wait for this one. It's something we've never done before. It's actually inspired from, I do stuff for ZBrush. And we did battle offs all the time, or lunch crunches, where you actually try to achieve something in half an hour, a digital sculpt, that thing. So it's based upon that. We haven't seen anybody else doing it, and we're thinking this will be a great one. Also, it'd be really good for the winner, because they're definitely going to get a t-shirt saying winner, but anyone that actually takes place in it will also get a t-shirt as well. So even to take the gauntlet up and try is a really good thing. Plus, you get to know those course creators. So if you make a decision that you want one of these people to help you, you'll be in a much better place now, because you will have seen them. So almost like this is a CV for these guys. So we can't wait to show that. So we're going to talk more about it, announce it. We're going through the rules and seeing how it's going to work on a time scale, but we're definitely hoping to get this out before Christmas for the actual show, and then we'll get all the members in there as well, and then announce the winner and all those sort of things. So we're super excited about this one. So it's been a cracking day. Thank you, Team Zenler, for helping today, because we had Liz in the morning, we had Kevin, we had Mami, we had Rakesh, we had Alice, who was kind of like in a recording, and of course me here as well. So I can't wait. So Gita, leveling up hasn't gone in yet. We haven't done it yet. We haven't set the event up yet. I'm just giving you a sneak preview. So I'm hoping to do the leveling up. There is a lot of work for me to do my end, just to make sure everything's really clear. And I need to be using software that's going to be freely available to you. I can't just choose. I can't just go into something like Photoshop or any of those sort of things, because you guys won't have it. So there's a lot of preparation work. I'm just giving you a preview, just like about liking the post. All right, for the Zen battle. Yeah, I'll put the link inside the Facebook, so you can go straight to that post. It's under features. I'll drop it in there, and you can go in there, like it, and you'll be tagged. You know, you're probably, to be honest, you're on here quite a lot, so you'll probably see the post come up in the events anyway. But great that you've been so active, guys. Really good, really loved today. This video, I know it's quite a long one. This video and session 1 will be on the YouTube channel under A Day with Zenler. Just scroll down to the playlist Day with Zenler. On Monday, it will be uploaded by Monday or Sunday probably, and in there will be chapter markers, so you can jump, like when I was talking about the image sizing, page optimization, things like the email, there'll be little chapter marks, so you can just click that and you can jump straight into that section. So it'll save you watching all the bits between, because you don't want to watch another 3 hours of me babbling on when you just want to get like two minutes of information. All right, guys, have a lovely weekend, and I will see you very soon. I'm planning to come in and do a few Zen pop-ups as well next week. We are working on all the support docs as well, so there is a lot of work to be done for that, and we're going to continue to be working on that probably for the next 6 months until we get it to its final stages. And then we'll be launching that officially, and maybe then starting putting that into the platform. But anyway, have a great weekend, guys, and I will see you soon. And that is A Day with Zenler Session 2 wrapped.